Dude used to cut DJ Khaled's hair, and they raid the barbershop. Lay everybody down, jump out of unmarked vehicles, grabs me by my neck, and takes me down. Because I was born in Brooklyn, New York. My mom, she's of Puerto Rican descent. My grandmother's Puerto Rican. And my dad is Dominican, from Dominican Republic. But he had a whole nother family. So
I've actually heard this.
Yeah.
So we interviewed another guy. He has a whole other family somewhere.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's crazy. And, basically, he caught some type of charge. He was moving that boy,
Oh, okay.
And so it was
Well,
wild.
2 families is expensive.
Right. He got
I can't knock him for that. Like,
right. Well, the crazy thing about it is, my mom used to tell me, is that he actually gave my mother money for an abortion. And so she looked at him and said that she was going to take it, but she never got the abortion.
Right.
And then she had me, and he caught a charge, and he was dealing with some Italians in New York at that time. And he said, hey, look, if they let me out on bond, I'm going back to DR. So they let him out on bond, because obviously if you're dealing with Italians, it's during that time in the 80s, and you're the main guy, you might not make it out.
Right.
And so
if they don't think you're cooperating, there's one way to be sure that you're not going to cooperate.
Kill him, right? And so he moved his whole family, besides me, because I wasn't part of the family.
He didn't know about you, or did know? But
he knew, but didn't have time to even think about it. Right. So he moved, just picked up and left, and went to Dominican Republic. So I grew up in a single parent household. I thought my dad was somebody else. My last name is Serrano. It's not supposed to be Serrano. It's supposed to be Ulloa. Because my sister's dad, I have a sister, she has a different father, and he adopted me. And so for all the way up until me being 8 or 9 years old, I thought somebody else was my dad. Long story short, man, like, the path for me was not paved in gold, right? It was tough. So sports was kind of like my outlet. So I continuously tried to play sports, any sport that I could. And she didn't know how much that meant to me. So she would actually use that to punish me. And I would hate her for it, right? Because I don't have a dad. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to live my life through sports. I want to be a professional athlete. I'm getting picked up on these teams, and then she's keeping me from the games, right? And then she's also abusive at the same time. So she's verbally abusive. She's physically abusive. I used to get my ass whooped. And so it was just like I didn't have an outlet, like a consistent outlet, stability either. We moved all around the country. I lived in New York. From New York, we moved to Buffalo, New York. From Buffalo, New York, we moved to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Well, that's got to be
That's a culture shock.
Yeah.
It's like my whole life is almost like, no matter, once I start getting comfortable, we're up and gone. So, and then we're up and gone to places where I'm not even like, obviously growing up in New York, right? I'm Dominican American, right? Dominican Puerto Rican American. Going to Salt Lake City, Utah, I'm like not Mexican.
Just a lot of blonde hair, blue
Yeah,
eyes. Yeah,
right.
I've been there and I went to like a Starbucks or something. It might have just been the area I was at, but I got my start. I kind of looked around and went,
"Where am I at?"
I'm noticing a lack of something here.
Right.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing that they don't.
My buddy Zach, he's black. He lived there. He said he was the only black person that lived in Salt Lake City.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And so I'm Dominican. They're calling me either Mexican or they're calling me a black dude. Like they're calling me the N-word. And so I'm having a lot of resentment, right? You can't get a good haircut, right? Not just that, I'm not Mormon as well. So like a lot of people don't understand Salt Lake, right? And the religious aspect in there as well is like their idea of drinking is soda.
Right.
Right? Our idea of drinking is like, yo, let's have a party. Let's get twisted, right? Doesn't happen. Also, you could be white, but you will also feel prejudice if you're not Mormon because it's the Latter-day Saints capital, basically.
Yeah. No, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like living in Clearwater and not being a Scientologist.
Yeah, right? It's crazy. And so growing up that way was, again, I had a lot of resentment. So my only outlets were sports. And then my mom would be upset, taking me away, and she would kick me out the house. Finally.
At how old?
So it's kind of crazy. First time I ever got kicked out the house was like 9 years old.
Jeez.
And that's like, and the reason why I say that is because and it's not an excuse, but it's something that built up over time where I had to learn at an early age to get it out the mud by myself. Like, she would kick me out the house. I'd wait outside the door for like 2 or 3 hours. She wouldn't open it up, and I'd go walk to the basketball court. Then she's calling the police to come get, like, my son is missing, he ran away type stuff. And, it's my mom. I'm not going to say my mom. I'm not going to say this anything. I'm never one time,
They're not going to believe you anyway.
Right. But my mom was like physically abusive. Like,
Right.
she would, one time she cracked my head open with a painting. She was so upset. She threw a painting off the wall and threw it at me, and the corner hit me. It was some wild stuff. And I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to figure out, like, this is my mom, right? She gave birth to me. Why am I feeling this way? And it was traumatizing for me. Like, honestly, like, I just talking about it, I've like repressed a lot of these memories. Like, and so, right. So to kind of get my background, you kind of got to know, like, I was not raised to be in the streets. All my family was, but sports was my outlet. Mm-hmm. Finally get really in a place. The team loves me. I'm in a small town, Watertown, Connecticut. It's like 4,000 people maybe. Finally starting to play football, play basketball, and then my mom kicks me out. Mind you, she's been kicking me out the house. This time she kicks me out. She says, "You're moving to Florida. That's it." And she's
by yourself?
Sending me to my aunt's house.
How old are you?
I'm 14.
Okay.
She sent me over there. When she sends me, I'm like 14, 15. When she sends me over there, my aunt's in a bad situation. She's got 3 kids, almost 4. She's a single parent mom. Now you're going to bring this 15-year-old who's got kind of issues as well, to in the middle of a season to their house in Florida. I've never been there. I told myself when my mom put me on that plane, she sent me and my sister. I said, I'm never going back there. I need stability. I'm never going back. 3 months with my aunt starts tripping. I leave the house. I go to my friend's house. I ask him if I could stay there. It's crazy because at 14, 15 years old, I'm like on the streets. I'm like sleeping on a park bench. I'm going to my friends, leaving, saying I'm gonna leave, and then like just being on the street. My grandmother finds out. My grandmother leaves. She was in New York, but she moved to Florida. She moved to Fort Myers. She ends up paying my friend's mom to house me, but they missed a paycheck or whatever. And they called him like, look, he can't stay here, man. Like, we can't be taking care of a kid. He's not our responsibility. If you're not going to send the money, like, right. We can't just do that. So she comes and picks me up. Got to leave again. But I told myself, I'm going to stay with my grams because I know she's stable. My grandmother's like my mom. No matter what happens, even through all those times where I was gone and in different places, the only person that was really a constant in my life was my grandmother. She would always check up on me, visit me, and stuff like that. She just felt bad, right? She was a grandma that knew that I was kind of like dealt a hand that wasn't the strongest, and so she was always there. She picked me up, drove to Fort Myers. We go to Fort Myers. From that point on, she raised me all through college, all through high school. I end up graduating. I get a 3.7 average. I get a Bright Future scholarship. She makes sure I get to every basketball game, make sure I went to school. I ended up getting a scholarship to go to Iowa, Central University of Iowa, and play basketball there. My dream now is to make it to the league, make it to the NBA. Tall are you? I'm like 6'1".
Okay.
So, but I was extreme. I always think
tall. I always think like 5'6", 5'5",
right.
You know.
So in high school, I was always on. Like I told you, I was immersed in basketball. Like I was the guy who had a backpack and my basketball. Right. I'm walking around. I'm walking to school. That's my life. I get obsessed with stuff.
Right.
And later on, you'll find out I'm obsessed with anything that I do, including a drug enterprise. Right. So I just immersed myself. there was nothing more important than basketball, getting a scholarship. I did well. I told you I made freshman teams. We were on AAU teams with people who were on who played ball, and I was good. Wasn't great, but I was good, and I worked hard. That's what got me the scholarship to Central University of Iowa. End up going out there, and it's I didn't even tell you. I end up having a kid. I get a girl pregnant while I'm in high school, and I end up having a son. Right. So I'm trying not to leave my kid, but I also need to accomplish my goals. So I go to college. My baby mom comes with me, right? And everybody told me don't bring her. Long story short, again, she goes and she is making my life hell. I go from there. I have a bad attitude. Something happens, right? We get into a little argument. The cops get called. Nothing crazy. But I end up leaving there, and I can't get back into the house. So now I'm on scholarship, but I can't get back into my own house. I'm sleeping on my friend's bed. I end up leaving school. I get kicked out, lose my scholarship. I said, bump it. I'm going to go play ball in Dominican Republic because I had lived there at one point during that time. I went to Dominican Republic. My dad was there, and I had met my dad when I was 14. I kind of tried to skip through. Yeah. I ended up meeting my dad when I was 14, on a whim after I found out my aunt, that I didn't even know at the time, called my mom and was like, look, he needs to call his dad. My stepmom ends up kind of getting involved and paying for my ticket. My dad didn't even want to see me. Crazy. And so, but when I do see him, I'm the kid that looks most like him. Right. So I do see him. So when I leave college, I end up going back to DR, stay with them, play basketball professionally in Dominican Republic for 2 years. I miss my kid, though. So I come back to the States to come visit him. When I get back to the States, my son's mom is waiting for me with my son. We go into the house, and then she serves me, the sheriffs come and serve me with child support papers. And from that moment on, they took my passport. Basketball dream over with. I can't get out the country. Go to get put on, right?
Cool. I was gonna say, people don't realize that they'll shut your shit off. Like,
can't leave.
Yeah.
And the president of the team is calling me like, yo, you just signed a contract, bro. Like, what's going on? Like,
I know a guy who had tickets to like Brazil, and he and his girlfriend were gonna go. And I said, are you sure you can go? And he was like, yeah. And I said, don't you owe back child support? Like, you're on payments? And he had like 3 kids, and he's paying 3 different, but he was behind. Yeah. And he was like, what's that gonna do? I was like, I would call. And he fucking called and came back. He's like, fuck. Yeah. I was like, hey, bro, better than you being in the airport or even getting there or something and not going.
Right. I mean, it's a serious situation, and I was in arrears too. Like, they don't know, once you get put on, if you haven't paid up to that point, they're getting it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. So
you just owe it.
Yeah, exactly. And so they snatched my passport right away. Basketball dream dead. So now I'm like, yo, I've tried to do everything right. I've tried to be, stay out of trouble. I've never had handcuffs put on my, no issues, right? And I just get dealt the wrong hand. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going the other way. Because I used to hear it. I used to be I'm just like my dad. I'm just like my dad. I'm just like my dad. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to find out what that feels like.
So I have a question. How old are you?
I'm 43.
At 43, when you think back on that, how stupid does that decision sound to you?
Yeah, it's an idiot. It's
because the decisions that I made, it's kind of like the first time I got in trouble. Yeah. Everybody's like, I now look back and think, claim bankruptcy. Yeah. Move into your old bedroom. Right. Go sell used cars. Like, what are you doing? Instead, I doubled down and did the dumbest thing possible, expand the scam. Right. And it's like, I look back now and I'm like, but at that moment, it seemed like such a logical decision. Like, this is clearly the right decision. And it was like, looking back, I'm like, what? It's the difference between being a kid, making those rash, stupid decisions, and being an adult and saying, no, this has got nothing but downside, right? Even if it's upside for a few years.
Right. I feel like I didn't know how to handle adversity at that time. It was something that was...
It's a rebellious decision, but, but it feels good.
And the crazy part was I didn't even start anything big. It kind of was like dope was kind of like introduced to me. I hadn't smoked. I never smoked. Didn't drink.
Yeah, you weren't already ingrained in this this environment. This is something like now you got to go learn.
Literally, I had to go learn. And how it happened was one of my high school friends. Like I was just kind of like moving without a purpose, trying to go to school again. I had a Bright Future scholarship, so that was like an academic scholarship. Trying to get a job, just trying to do the right things. I just felt like every door was closing. Like jobs didn't want, they were like, "Oh, you going to school? Like go to school. We need somebody to work." And I couldn't balance. I didn't have a good balance, and I feel like I was just searching for the wrong thing. Like I started seeing people partying. So I would go over there to try to have a good time, and one of my friends was like, "Oh yeah, this is blow," and I'm like, "Oh, that." I want to stay away from that. And they're like, I don't do it. I sell this stuff. And I'm like, yeah. And he pulled out a wad of money. Now, I had seen my cousins do stuff like that, but I kind of stepped away because I was like, okay, there's a lot of money on the table. There's a lot of drugs. I got to get out of here. And I feel like this time I was just like, yo, how much money would you make on that? And he was like, well, for this bag right here, I make $350 for this little thing. I'm like, what? It was kind of like a half an ounce. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, for that? And he was like, yeah, and you could do stuff with it. And I was like, man, what do you mean? So he kind of like was schooling me on the game. So he gave me an 8-ball, right? First one. He was like, you take this, if you put 0.8s in it and take little sandwich baggies, you can make $50 a pop. So I'll charge you $150. You can make like $400 or something like that. I was like, what? The numbers on that crazy, right? So I bag it up. At a $350, I made 0.8. So it's 3.5. I made about 8 bags. Sold them for $40 a piece, $50 a piece, and it was really good. It was really good. So I made $400.
Right. In what, a day or 2 days?
No, it took me some time. Oh, okay. At first, I couldn't give the shit away.
Right.
But then
you don't have a client.
Yeah, I have no idea. So I'm telling him like, yo, he's like, where's the money?
Right.
Like, and I'm like, man, I'm still trying to get off this. And he was like, listen, man, like you need to go out. You have friends. They go to the clubs. Yo, just tell them that you got something. They're gonna spread the word. So I did, and sure enough, that in 2 weeks, right? The 150, I gave him the 150, and then I had another 250. And I was like, yo, could we do it again? He's like, yeah, you want me to front you another bag? And I don't like owing people money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah, I got my own. I'm going to take the money, put it in. So he gives me another 8-ball.
How old are you?
21.
Okay.
21 years old. I go, that one takes like 3 days. So now I'm making money, right? I've got like $500, $550 in my pocket. My phone bill, I only have a phone bill. I'm living with my grandmother at the time, trying to figure out life. I tried to get a job at a McDonald's. They called me Jason. I lasted 45 minutes. So I was like, I'm not getting no real job. This is not it. This is where I'm, this is what's making me money. I think my check for like, a day, I was doing day labor stuff. My check was like $50.
Right.
Now I'm like, I'm not meant for this. This can't be my life. I'm not going to be doing this. So I was like, make $50 a day or make $450. Like make this money. So I would come back and I asked him, hey, look, can I double it up? Like, can I get 2 of them? And he was like, yeah, I'll give it to you for $200. So I was like, okay. So he's
learning to buy in bulk.
Right. Yeah. So he's giving me the game. The stuff was straight, it was stepped on a little. I had no idea though. I'm just taking it, running it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm doing. I'm just basically just doubling my money every single time. And then now I'm buying, I go from an 8-ball to a 7, right? We called it a Vic. We go to a Vic. Then from a Vic, I did the same thing. I'm like, yo, how much is it for a half an ounce? He was like, well, at the time, ounces were going for like $750 to $1,000, depending on how much they were. So he was like, hey, I'll give you that one for $375, right? So I get a half ounce. And one of the people that I was giving it to was like, yo, man, I like the fact that you're consistent, but this shit is garbage. Right. Right? Like, and I don't know because I don't do it. So I'm just giving, basically hand-to-hand stuff. And I got a lot of it now to me. I got a lot of it, enough where I can make at least like $1,000, right? Because I can double it up. So, and I'm not giving people full grams either, right? I'm taking the bag and I'm like pinching to try to maximize profits, right? I've always been the guy that's like, how can we maximize and be efficient and these things? Literally have a business brain, business acumen, but not applying it to that. I'm putting it to the streets.
Right.
I got a job at a club in Tampa called Hyde Park Cafe as the security. I made sure that I did.
That's a nice area, Hyde Park, right?
Yeah, because I was like, this is where the people are hanging out at, and a lot of people where I was at, they were broke, right? So they're
Hyde
not.
Park is it's a young, trendy area of Tampa, right? So it's not, it's the hip crowd, right? But not broke.
Not broke.
No.
South Tampa, where they got money, right?
Yeah. Ybor City is the trendy broke crowd,
right?
Right.
And I was like, I can't do that. So I need people. They wanted like. And they wanted stuff. I'm like, that's not me. I don't want anything that smells. Blow was small.
Right.
It was easy to carry, right? It was easy to break up. I could hide it. It didn't leave any lingering smell, and I could make a lot of money.
Right.
So I wanted to get that, but I needed to find the people that would buy it at a high clip. So I was going to this boxing gym, and the owner of the gym did security at Hyde Park, and he was like, "Yo, you want to do security?" And I'm thinking to myself, "Yeah, I'm going to do security at this place, but I'm not." They would pay me $60 a day, $100 a day.
Yeah,
I could only work like 3 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But I was like, "Look, I'll take the hit on the $100 a day, but I know I'm gonna find people in there that have money."
Yeah, and then if you work for a month or 6 weeks, you build up a huge clientele, and if I get fired, I get fired. What do I care?
Well, and I wasn't getting fired because that ended up being a bank for me. Basically, I walk in, I was dressed up in a suit. You had to dress up in a security suit, right? An actual suit. Man, the people that I was looking for the young people. I end up selling blow to the security people that are there, right? And then they're taking it and they're giving it to the other people that are buying it. So they'd come to me and be like, "Yo, I need," and I'm like in the cut. I'm like not in front of the door, kind of like on the outside door where I'm just sitting. So I'm basically posted on a block, but across the street, the cops are sitting there. But I all I have to do is go inside. It was okay for me, right? I wouldn't say it's foolproof because I was always paranoid. But I was making money. I'd walk out of there with like $1,000. I'd run out of work. I graduated to an ounce real fast. I was grabbing zips left and right. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, those weekend warriors, that's what they call themselves, it was over with. But I couldn't leave. I realized like I'd come out with like $2,000 or $3,000, but I'd run out of work, and then I couldn't leave because I had a job.
Yeah.
So after doing that for 2 or 3 months, I was like, man, like I was content with what I had, but I was like, man, I could be making more if I just got something, if I didn't have to work here. It's starting to become a flow. People are calling me on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I have friends now who, some of them, that I grew up with, they're coming out of like situations and they're like, "Yo, could you put me on?" And I just didn't have enough work to give them. And so I had to find a plug. I had to kind of graduate. And so I would flip. I had about $20,000 saved up. And this is like my first year. Like this is my first year. I'm making money. I'm getting my life. I wouldn't say I'm getting my life together, but but I'm starting to.
Hey, you got an apartment, you got furniture, you got a vehicle you can drive.
Right.
Like you're not broke.
I'm not broke.
You're not rich, but you're not broke.
Right.
Like it's your life is it's a decent life.
I'm not struggling. Right. And so that's what, like you said, it's like, yo, at the beginning, like I tell myself now, I was like, man, you're an idiot. But for real though, like $20K, like being 22 years old, you're having fun, you're the man, people love you. it's hard to walk away from stuff like that. Now you're making $3,000 on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. People are calling you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? My slowest days were Wednesday because I guess people needed to go to work, right? My slowest days were Monday, but those like I'm caking like $4,000 a week, and maybe spending like $1,000, $2,000 on on work and doubling it every single time. But people would tell me, like, they would say, hey, look, man, like, it's kind of like it's mid, right? It's not very great, but it's good for the club. And so I needed to find a plug. And so
I plug with better product.
With better product, right? And in Tampa, man, like, people were stepping all over the shit, man. It was so because I didn't grow up around this stuff, I had no idea what good blow looked like.
Yeah.
And my friends didn't either because they were getting the trash stuff too. So I had to like talk to people, and I would go down. They told me like the further south you go, the better.
That's what I was just thinking. Miami, it's coming into Miami, so it's pure when it's coming in. It's
exactly
just on the way here, it's being stepped on,
right? And so I'm going down 75. I end up finding a plug in Sarasota, right? That plug was good, but then not as good. Then I get one in like Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Go out there to Fort Lauderdale. That was all right, but it was more like I started seeing the differences, right? And then I'm starting to see like, okay, if they're stepping on it, what are they using, right? And so I'm seeing that. And then finally, Fort Lauderdale was probably, better than Sarasota, way better than Tampa, but it was still not great. But then I had a friend that was from Miami and Tampa, and his cousin was from Miami, lived in Miami. And we met a couple of times and we kind of clicked. Cool dude, you know what I'm saying? And was like, yo, man, I get it. Like, I really do. I get it. I'll bring it to you. And he brings me 4 ounces, and it's in a little brick, right? And everything that I got was like in bags before, right? It was like powdery substance, this and that. This one is like really stamped, and it's got like when you broke it. I always heard these rap songs, Rick Ross, Jeezy at the time. They talking about fish scale. It's fish. It's fish. I had no idea what that really meant. I'm just listening to these songs, right? Well, when you broke it, it really did look. It had this glitter to it, and it was like fish. And he was like, "You see the scales?" And I'm like, "The fish scale." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Look." And he breaks it to me. He's like, "This is pure blow. This is that thing." And I was like, "He's like, this is fish." And I looked at it and I could see it, and then it had this smell to it where it was like, just like potent. Like it was like the other stuff had like it was like supplement smells, like niacin. Other people were
more like what they were cutting it,
right, like Bolivian rock. Like there was these smells that you could get from like these smoke shops or these little places, but this had this distinct smell, and so it had this glitter. And then sure enough, he was like, you could step on this thing 2 or 3 times and triple your profits.
Right.
And I was like, man, whatever, man. He was like, no, for real. So I end up taking it. He's like, just do me a favor. Just take. He gave me this supplement. It was called niacin, right? He's like, take this, grind it all up, blend it up in a little cup. And there's like those little shakers, the little the shake makers, the smoothie makers, right? Something like that. Take that, blend it up, take the same, make sure you weigh it, take the same weight, put it in there. Don't just take 1 ounce and put 1 ounce of the same niacin in there. Put it in a bag, put it in a sock, then put it under your tire. Roll over it and let it sit there for the night. When you come back, it's going to be just like it was, a brick. That's how good the stuff was. It's going to all mix, and it's going to be like a brick. So I did it. The dude knows what he's talking about, right? So I did it. I ended up taking it off my tire. It came like this little cookie at the end, right? It was because the tire smashed it. But when I broke it, it looked not exactly, but it had that look. So I was like, okay, I just turned 1 ounce into 2 ounces. I go and I put it in the little bags, right? Now I'm selling like grams. I'm selling 8 balls, and I'm selling Vicks. So I'm making money. And they're all going for, sometimes if it was trash work, I didn't, like I said, somebody complained, I would give them for 40 instead of 50, right? So 40 for the gram, 135, 150 for the 8 ball, and then like 300 or 280 for the 7. And this would happen all the time, right? And people would come work. I end up taking these grams and giving it to one of my customers, man. This guy called me back like 30 minutes later. Yo, this is fire. Like, I don't know what you did, but I need 3 more of them, right? So
and this is cut.
This is cut. This is one-on-one. What, 28 ounces, 28 grams of niacin, 28 grams of blow. And he's like, boom, man, that night, I'll never forget. He called me like 10 times. The whole weekend, they couldn't sleep. Mm-hmm. They were, and I'm, like I said, I've touched coke, but I've never done coke. And I still, maybe through my pores, right? Maybe through my pores, but I've never done it. So it got to a point where I was like, some of those people, I would give them a gram to see and be studying them like a doctor, just looking at them like, hey, is this good? Like just watching them. So they'd tell me like every single time, that whole weekend, man, they were calling me 5, 6. I got no sleep.
Do you sleep hot or cold at night? The temperature in your room can really ruin your sleep. That's why I switched to Miracle Made sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA technology and made with silver-infused fabric that helps control your body's temperature. Whether you sleep hot or cold, these sheets help keep you comfortable all night long. They're also way cleaner than regular sheets. Miracle Made sheets stop up to 99.7% of bacteria, so they stay fresh up to 3 times longer. That means less smell, less laundry, and more time doing the things you actually like to do. And they feel amazing. Soft, smooth, and breathable. Like 5-star hotel sheets, but without the high price. Cleaner sheets are also better for your skin and help reduce breakouts. Upgrade your sheets or give the gift of better rest. Go to trymiracle.com/Cox to try Miracle Made sheets today. You'll save over 40%, and when you use the promo code COX, you'll get an extra 20% off, plus a free 3-piece towel set. They make an amazing gift, and with a 30-day money-back guarantee, there's no risk. That's trymiracle.com/Cox, code COX at checkout. Thanks, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode.
So I called the dude back. That work ended up leaving. I turned those 4 ounces, I turned those into 8. And I don't think it lasted the weekend. I was able to give some to those people who were asking me. I called them, and I was selling those same cut stepped on, right? The stepped on product. I was selling them for what they were selling them in Tampa for $1,000 an ounce. So we used to call them onions. So I used $1,000 an onion. I sold 4 of them. Right, I think he charged me $2,800 at the time, or $2,800 to $3,200 at the time for those 4 ounces at $800 a piece. I turned them into 8, and then I broke down 4 of them and sold 4 of them. Right, I ended up with like $10K.
Right,
called him again. Hey man, I got to work on Thursday, was done by Saturday or Sunday. Called him Monday, was my slowest days. I'm going back to Miami. He's like, cool. I'm like, can I get another one? He's like, yeah. I go get another one. Same thing. Now they're calling me. I told you Mondays were my slow days.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I run out of the work again, and I'm like, yo, I need to buy more.
This is horrible, bro. You know why? It's horrible because I had a buddy who was. I think I mentioned this story like years ago. We interviewed somebody, and he was selling out of a 1-bed. This is when I was like 19 years old. We actually had a 1-bedroom apartment together. Like, you're 19, you got no money.
Yeah, of course.
But we both had girlfriends, and we're tired of, you're tired of trying to sneak them in the house and everything. So we rented an apartment for, I don't even know if we were there for 7 or 8 months or a year, but we rented the place. I wasn't there, but maybe a few months, because he starts selling, right? He's had a couple of shitty jobs,
Same idea. Yeah.
So then he starts selling, and I remember one time he sold to a guy. I remember the guy's name, named Ross. Literally, Ross comes at like 4:00 that day. Then he comes back at like 7. Then he comes back at like 11 or 12 at night, and he says to my buddy Trent, he says, "Listen, man," he said, "if I come back, don't give me anything. You understand?" He said, "This is my rent." He said, "All I got left is my rent money."
Yeah.
And Trent goes, "Bro, absolutely. I'm not going to sell you anything else. When is your rent due?" He's like, my rent's due like 2 days from then. Don't." And he said, "Don't worry. I got you." 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, he shows up. My buddy Trent's pager's going off. He shows up. He's knocking on the door. He goes. Trent opens the door, and he's like, "Man, I know I said not to sell me." He said, "No, bro." He said, "You're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out." And he sells it more. And he walked back, and I said, "You're a fucking horrible human being." He's like, "He'll be fine. He'll be fine." I'm just like, God, this is horrible. I had to move out. I'm like, this is getting bad.
Yeah,
he's going to get arrested, or they're going to come in the house. Like,
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm getting scared now because this guy. So I ended up moving back home.
It's crazy, but you see how you see that though, like, and so a lot of people don't know, but like my main clientele at that time, I'm 22, 23, starting to get into the groove. My clientele is not clientele from the street. My clientele, they're 35, 40.
Yeah, these are
accountants, lawyers.
If they're living in Old Hyde Park, like they've got like
South
Tampa,
Tampa.
they have means,
right? They got, some of them are like, I'm not going to say their names, but they're prominent people, right? I would go, they would be having these parties where they're drinking, and they'd be all in their house in South Tampa or someone's house. I end up, hey, come to this person's, or come to this person's, or come to this person's. So there was a whole clique, business owners. Some of them, one time, one of them was a cop.
Right.
He's a detective.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yo, man, I just want you to know, like, I'm a detective." And I'm like, "Oh, what are you telling me?" Like, I go, and he's like, "No, I just want to let you know, I've seen a lot of stuff. Yours is the best." I'm like, "What?" So he's like, "Yeah." And I would see him at these parties doing blow with these people. And so the reason why they would do blow is because they would get drunk. Like, they were drinking, and they didn't want to pass out.
Yeah.
So they would just be doing blow to stay up, and they would go. They were like vampires, man. They would just be all different types, but they weren't. I trusted them. Some of them would have me over for dinner. Some of them were roommates. They'd be chilling. They'd be asking me like, "Hey, man, is it? You're a real cool dude, man. Like, you're solid, man. You seem smart, man. I hope it's worth it." I'm like, "Yo, it is right now." At that time, I'm like, "Yeah, it's worth it, man. Like, it's worth it," because anything was better than the life I was living.
Right.
Where it started getting crazy was, obviously I'm starting to take more and more these trips down to Miami, right? And now I'm graduating from an eighth to a half to a half to a 3/4 of a key, to finally starting saying, "Hey, look, man, I need the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I want it." And them giving me one at a time, me paying for one, paying 19, and then fronting me another one because they know I'm good for it. Because now I have people who, I was like putting people on.
Yeah. So now it's turning into, instead of basically sales, it's turning into distribution. Right? You're getting your own guys that are doing.
Right. Same thing. I would give them the blueprint. "Hey, man, get a job at the club or get in with the manager." So they would go into the clubs, meet the managers of the club or the bartenders, and then let them, "Hey, you know anybody who has something?" They would ask if they knew, get good with the bartender, ask if they knew if somebody was, they'd be like, "Yeah, I got a guy, da-da-da-da." And then maybe buy from them, and then being like, "Man, this stuff's trash. You should get from my people," giving them one, and now it's an epidemic all through the club.
Right.
So it was kind of like a sales process, right?
Yeah.
There was like, and this is crazy because we had so many different clubs in different parts of Tampa. that it was like I said, I would put people on, they would be running out. The work was great, and I was telling you, it was stepped on at least one time by me. So I'm doubling my money every single time. Where it started getting crazy for me was one of my friends who came to me was like, hey, man, he had experience in the streets, right? I was kind of like the green one. I was the dude that didn't really have experience. I just got a plug, got in the game, and just started moving. He was like, yo, Vince, I know you good with this kind of money here, man, but I need like fast money. And I'm like, what, this isn't fast for you? He's like, nah, like I need like fast money, like consistent, like this is cool, but it's not really the fast money that I'm used to. So I'm like, well, what you talking about? He's like, yo, I need whip. I need hard. That's what my clientele, that's what I know we can get off that. So I was like, all right, but I don't.
This is more of a street guy.
This is more of a streets. And so remember, like especially playing basketball, being in these areas, I would still be playing ball. I'd still be doing my thing, but I was a hustler.
Yeah.
So I'm in these areas where people know me for being in the hood, but I'm not necessarily from the hood. I'm just there. And so he would be like, yo, you're in these areas, bro. Like, just give it to me. I'll show you what to do with it. And I'm like, yo, bro, that's cool, but I don't know how to turn it from powder to hard. He's like, don't worry about it. I'll show you how to do it. You just got to get it. So I end up getting the same thing, and he's like, don't touch it though, because if you touch it, it's over. You can't.
You can't do the chemical breakdown and turn it into rock if it's been cut.
It's been touched. Yeah, and so it has to be
pure,
as pure as you can get it. Because a lot of people don't know, like, it's not always pure, right? It's still mixed with certain things like kerosene. It's still mixed with certain things to get it to that point. And so it's got to be as pure as you can get it, right? And so he called it comeback or glass, right? But he didn't know how to do it. And so we would grab, I was like, all right, cool. I'd grab something, right? Oh man, it was a crazy process. I'd never done anything like this in my life, right? So he'd get one of his friends from a straggler from around the way, and we'd be talking about, hey, look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna cook it. This is how we're gonna cook it. You're gonna put it in a baby jar, blah, blah, blah. Man, we put it in a baby jar, put it in the pot, lift it up, pot break, all over the pot. One time we put it on a burner, glass break, all in the stove.
So it's just wasted.
I'm just losing money.
Right.
Like, I'm telling this guy, like, hey, bruh, all the work is on the kitchen counter right now. Like, I'm losing $750 because that's what they were charging me at the time. Anywhere between $650 and $750. $750 in the damn stove, bro. Like, what's like, we can't be doing this.
Yeah, you got to get somebody who knows what he's doing.
I'll never forget. He's like, all right, bro, I got you. Next person that comes in, his mom.
Right.
His mom comes in. And she's like, I'm going to teach you the real way to do it. I ain't finna teach you none of this other stuff, the way that these other people are doing it. I'm going to teach you how to cook what they call glass. She comes in. She's like, you got to have it on low heat. Take this, put the baking soda in it. Let it cook. Stir it with your wrist. But easy now. Don't let anything come. Don't let it get too hot. Let it sit. I'll never forget when she let it sit, it just kind of like hardened up. You took it out of the baby jar, and it was like this yellow cookie. And I'd never seen it. And we cooked like because I got smart. I was like, I'm not losing any more ounces, right? We cooked a 7, and 6.5 came back. And she was like, this is really good stuff. And we picked it up, and it was like this little like butterscotch like cookie, and it was hard. She was like, this is dope. And I was like, all right, cool. So we chopped it up, and we ended up going to a certain area in the hood. Now I'm in my car, right? I have cars,
right?
I'm chilling, but now we're in one of my cars, right? And we're like, all right, I don't have to do this, but I I want to see what's going on. We can't, again, like I said, we can't give this stuff away. Like, we have to actually get out, go to the gas station, go to the hoods, and like give out free samples. Like, we would see people and be like, yo, like, yeah, and they would think we were cops.
Yeah.
Like, they were thinking we were
they
cops.
don't know you.
Have no
Never
idea.
seen you before.
Right. And even if they, like, even though I would play ball in these hoods, like, they don't know me for that. They don't know me for slinging dope. Like,
Plus, you look healthy.
right. Yeah, exactly. And it's like 2 a.m. It's like anywhere between
Drug dealers have a look.
yeah, anywhere between 11 and 12. And now we're out all night trying to figure it out. We end up meeting this guy named Preacher. Preacher's on a he's at this gas station off of 50th and Columbus, right? By the motels, you know. And Preacher, I'll never forget, he's just like loud, right? Loud black dude, strong, but he's like, you could tell he's a crackhead. My boy, he's a black dude, and he goes up to him and he's like, hey, OG. He's like, what's up? He's like, yo, you smoke? He's like, yeah, but I don't smoke that. I don't want what. He's like, no, I got what you smoke. So he's like, take this, and he gives him a bag. And Preacher's like, he's about to like, he's like, you giving me this? He's like, yeah, I'm giving it to you. Come back if you want some more. So Preacher goes outside, and he takes the bag, and when we walk out of the gas station, because we're grabbing like sodas, you know, whatever, he's like, hey, young buck, yo, I ain't seen no shit like this since the 80s.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. He's like, man, it's that glass. And he's like, you know what that means? And he would go, and he took the little rock, and you know where the ice cooler is, the fridge where they put the ice. He drops it on the top of it, and you hear, he's like, oh, you hear that scream? And I'm like, yo, I'm thinking this guy's high. He got to be high.
They're all. He's all. You just gave him. Yeah,
right,
he is high.
right. But
Yeah,
he hasn't smoked it yet.
Oh, okay.
He hasn't smoked it yet. He's just looking at it.
Yeah.
He's like, I ain't heard that sound since the 80s. He's like, this is glass. He's like, well, I'll be right back.
He's gonna spread the word. Everybody's gonna. All the crackheads are coming out of that.
All the woodwork.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was like, okay, cool. So now we give them the number. We have, at that time, it was like Metro PCS. We got a burner Metro, and we're like, take the number down, just text it, da-da-da-da. Did not sleep the whole entire night. He gave words. People were calling me from different parts of Tampa. I never seen, it was like we printed money. It was kind of crazy. And mind you, I'm getting this, we did a 7, and then we did it another 7, and then I was like, bro, let's just do the whole ounce, because like it would like 2 hours, and you could sell it for cheap, like littler pieces for more than anything, and they were calling back, and they would be paying, and so now I'm dealing with a different type of clientele, right? So we're dealing with crackheads, right? Yeah. And they're calling back, and now they're like giving you like $25 in ones,
right?
And like you're like, then they're like, some of them had money, right? So some of them are staying in rooming houses. I think we talked about that, right? They're in different rooming houses. They're asking us to come over to the rooming house. They're living in rooming houses, and the owners of the rooming houses are other dope dealers. So we're coming in to these rooming houses, and they actually have those trap houses to sell to these people, and they're not making any money. We're making all the money. And so they're coming out to us. We're thinking they're crackheads. They're like, hey, man, what you got there? It's like, yo, no, what you mean what I got? You need something? So they buy something from us, and they find out that it's glass. And they're like, yo, where'd you get like that? So they want us to put them on. And we don't know them. And they want certain kind of prices. And we're like, nah, bro, we can't give you these kind of prices. Like this is what the price is, period. Like, and they would get mad. So they were like, don't come back here. So my boys, like, we just literally made like probably like 10 grand cooking up a whole ounce, like breaking it down, getting off of it. And these people were telling us not to come back. So my boy's like, listen, man, we gonna keep getting this money. And this was one of my guys, like, right? Like we were really tight. Like,
right.
We were really tight. And he was like, listen, man, I didn't have any record. He had records, right? I had never been arrested. This guy's arrested a million times for gun charges too. So it's like, but I loved pistols at the time, and I could walk into a pawn shop and buy them in Florida, no problem. Like wait 3 days and get them. So I had guns. Man, this dude come up to us talking crazy. I had a gun on me. So the first thing I did was pull it out. Hey, bro, like back up. Like don't, because they're getting aggressive now, right? Yeah. They're telling us we can't come back. So they walk off. I'm getting in the car, and now they come back out with guns, and they start shooting at us. And we're shooting back. They're shooting at us. A bullet went through my windshield and shot through. My boy was ducking, and it went through the seat, the seat rest, headrest, and into the dashboard. The bullet was in the dashboard, man, and like we didn't know until we stopped at a gas station and saw the window, and I'm like, man, and he's like, bro, there's a bullet in the dashboard, bro. That thing could have hit me. Mm-hmm. When we're shooting back at them, they're shooting at us, and I mean, we all have bad aim. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, nobody's a trained marksman.
Marine, you know what I'm saying? But we're like,
plus, they're probably holding it sideways.
Yeah, right. So, and we're holding it sideways too. Like I'm driving, and this is like a life that I was not accustomed to. Like, I liked guns, but it wasn't like wasn't my life. Right. I had never shot at nobody, no crazy stuff like that. It was the first time actually being in some gunfire. So I'm like, this is real now. Like this is the part of the dope game that comes with that. And my boy is chilling. He's like, damn, no, we almost got hit, but we good. We can't. Like he's like, we unscathed, bro. We untouchable. And I'm like tripping. Like I'm like, I can't believe like it's nothing to him. This is like life.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this is part of the game, bro. Like
No. Well, I'll go back to the club.
Right.
I'll go back to the club. I'll go back to the distribution. I'm perfectly happy there. I don't get to get shot at.
Right.
These crackers in Old Hyde Park ain't shooting at me.
They're not doing that, right? And so I tried to do it for like another month.
Was it College Park?
College Park.
Is it College Hill?
College Hill. Yeah, that's exactly. That's the area. Yeah. Actually, so that's the area.
I used to own a bunch of houses in that area.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. So
they don't care if you own the house or not.
22nd and late. In that area, that's all. And so again, man, like, well, I was in Tampa and I was sleeping in the streets, right, during that time where I was homeless and stuff like that. Those were the areas that I was in, and people knew me for playing basketball. Now, fast forward 10 years later, now they're knowing me for slinging dope.
Yeah.
And so I told myself for like a month. After a month, I was like, look, man, I told them the same thing. Like, hey, man, like, I'm not getting no sleep. Partly because they're calling me, partly because I'm thinking that something's going to happen to us.
Right.
They poured gas. We were outside of one of those rooming houses. One of the dudes, I guess they saw us coming in, and they poured diesel fuel into my gas tank. And so when I'm driving out, all of a sudden I blew an engine head, right? Because I had a Charger. I had a Charger with 24-inch rims on it. I was living the lifestyle. Like I was really out there. Yeah. And
make sure you want to drive around in a vehicle that looks like you're a drug dealer.
Right.
It's important. It's important.
It's important that we put that out there. Marketing, right? But I do.
I don't know why the cops keep pulling me over. Why do they keep searching my car?
Here's the crazy part though. Like I would never get pulled over. My license was clean.
Right.
I never had any of those things. Like I would be in and be out. And that I'm not in that area. Plus, I was doing music. I still do music, but I was doing my music at the time. So I'm rapping, like nowadays it's the same thing, right? I'm rapping my life. Like, struggling, dope saved my life type stuff. And I'm like, yo, I wouldn't be shit if I didn't have these things. Just wild, young thinking, you know?
You know where Jefferson Street is?
Yeah, of course.
Gladys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
I'm from that neighborhood.
So... so basically, it's what is it? Tampa Street, and and
Columbus,
right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there's like Amelia, Francis.
Yep.
Like, so I owned 40 houses, and I owned listen to this. I owned on Jefferson Street. I owned 3 rooming houses on Jefferson Street between Florabraska and Columbus. It's not a good area.
No, I'm from that area.
I know.
I'm from Columbus and Central Avenue in those apartments from there. Central Court.
Yeah. Central Court.
Yeah.
I lived on Amelia. Amelia's like the street directly behind
right.
it.
And Jefferson is right next to it, right?
I owned 1, 2, 3, 4 houses. At one point, I owned 5 houses, and I had a friend that owned another house and another friend. We basically on Amelia, right behind there.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's a 2-story Mediterranean. It's
the one on the corner,
Yes.
right? Yeah, bro. I used to look at that house and be like, "What is this house doing in Tampa?"
it's got like a 4-car garage. We put a 4-car garage in the back.
That's crazy.
It used to be. It was abandoned. It was all boarded up for a while. We bought it, renovated the whole thing. I lived upstairs while I was but on Jefferson Street, we owned I bought a rooming house that was on 2. It was 2 houses on 2 lots. We just bought it to bulldoze it. And when I went to the closing, there was an old Cuban guy who owned it, right? And I bought both houses for $80,000.
Yeah, I know you did.
And when we signed everything, he goes, "Oh, you follow me?" And I was like, "For what?" I'd never even been in a house. And I went, "For what?" And he goes, "Oh, to introduce you, to collect the rent." And I was like, "The rent?" And I was like, "Oh, that's right. This is a rooming house."
Yeah.
I'm just thinking we're going to evict everybody and bulldoze it. And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I go there. We walk in. All the walls inside are, what are they called? Wafer board. Painted black, flat black.
It's crazy.
It was like a haunted house.
Yeah.
You open it. The first guy, he bangs on the door. Guy gives me a check for I want to say 300, or maybe it was $200 or $300.
Right.
So he gives me his whole check. This is his Social Security disability check.
Damn.
Whole thing. Just gives it to me. That's his whole rent. I was okay. Next guy, and I realized there are in these 2 buildings 14 rooms.
Yeah.
I walk out of there with like $3,000.
Yeah,
And I went,
"This is a moneymaker."
And you get this every week. He's like, "Well, no, except for the guy in the first. He paid for the whole month." But he's like, "Yeah, pretty much." And I went, "Oh, I can't sell this place."
Yeah, no, you're winning.
No, we bought the house next door, turned it into a rooming house. Then down the street is Gladys. Bought a property on Gladys, turned it to a rooming house. The rooming house has made a lot of money, but they're selling drugs.
So much traffic
everywhere. There's drug dealers everywhere.
Yeah,
and it's I never had a problem, but you can tell you pull up and it's like at some point I'm gonna get. They know me as the rent man, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get. This could get dangerous. I could get robbed here.
Yeah.
So then I got to a point where I didn't even get out of my
your car.
I didn't get out of my car. I had a guy. We had a house man.
Mm-hmm.
He collects the rent. He brings it to you and gives you the. At one time we tried to put up cameras. They ripped the cameras down.
Yeah.
This is the drug dealers.
Yeah, they're not gonna have it all. Yeah.
No, it's like I have a camera. I have a camera on my house, and it's a big one. It was a big. It had a big arm on it. It was a big. Well, it looked real official. We had it on both. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, they're grabbing that because, bro, this is my money.
Yeah.
And you have no idea how many of the. I mean, you do because you built them, right? You saw them, you bought them.
Yeah.
Man, during that time, all in that area, those were like banks.
Yeah.
Those
no. I stopped going. It's funny. My accountant said, "What's going on? What around?" He was like, around March, something happened, and I go, "What do you mean?" He said, "This is back when people took cash out of ATMs."
Mm-hmm.
He's like you stopped removing any cash from your ATM because that was my That was my ATM.
Right.
I pull up, I go in, you walk out. Sometimes people don't pay on time. You show up, they're not there. So maybe it might take a day or two to get all the rent.
Mm-hmm.
But you're getting a couple $1,000s in cash every single. It was really more than that, but every single week.
Yeah.
So why would I go to the ATM? I'm lying to the IRS for what I deposit. I'm telling them it's rented. I'm losing money.
Right. All the appreciation, depreciation stuff.
Yeah,
but it's in those areas, those were the areas where we're going in. Man,
it's dangerous.
10 to 6 in the morning. Was crazy. And so I did that for like this. I was tired of it by the 3rd month. And like you said, I went back to, hey, look, man, I got to go back to my regular people because they're still calling me Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I'm not doing, I keep the real, the ones with a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
That are willing to spend. Like I tell them like, look, man, I'm not leaving my house if it's not for, at night, if it's past 12, 150 or more, I'm not leaving my house.
Right.
And that's a 30-minute drive to go get $150. Like I'm cool. They would not want me to leave, so I'd keep them. I'm coming out of there at a party, making $1,000 every single night, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then plus distributing. So I would keep like a zip for myself, which is an ounce for myself, and then off the rest. So anywhere between 20, you know what I'm saying? Like it would take me like 2 weeks because I kept going to Miami. Like I would be driving. So I would drive Sunday or Monday to Miami, driving, come back, stay there for maybe a day, right? Come back, do it all over again, right?
This is full-time. This is
It's
a full-time job.
gig. Yeah, like it's feeding the streets. That's what we used to call it. We feeding the streets. I'm taking money. I got money now. I've got, I'll never forget, man. Like during that time, right? You're buying these houses for 80 grand. And people are telling me, man, you need to put it into real estate. You need to grab real estate. And I'm like, how much money you got? You can't tell me what to do with my money. I'm just like ignorant, young. I'm starting to get into that life where it's like just arrogant, right? Thinking I'm untouchable. Now we've gotten into a little bit of issues with other people now, right? Because now we're the major players in the game. People are my name is starting to ring bells. I'm putting money into my raps. I'm putting money into marketing for raps. I'm starting to kind of blow up. And I'm in the crowd. I'm in the clubs. I'm blowing $10,000 in the club where, my plug is coming up to Tampa. He's spending 30 grand in the club. I don't even have to spend anything. It's starting to get kind of crazy. This is around 2007, 2008. Now the lifestyle is getting crazy. We're getting into shit just because we got money now. Now we're getting into like arguments like who could spend the most bread, right? With other people in the club, in the sections. Like we're just like really just living that life, like paid in full, like, like young kids who never had money before, right? Buying bottles. I didn't even drink at the time. I'm buying bottles for people, buying ounces. I started smoking, just getting real like reckless with it, right? Also, I felt like during that time, I don't want to say that I wasn't worried about getting caught. I didn't care. I didn't care. I was like, the risk is worth the reward, right?
Where are you living?
So I would have 2 apartments. I had 2 apartments, right? I had one in West Tampa, right off of Hillsborough and Himes, because there was a club called Mirage right across the street. So go down the street and we'd be there. And then I had another apartment in South Tampa off of Estrella and MacDill. So by the Palmacia Yacht Club.
Yeah.
I had an apartment there. So I would alternate apartments. During the week, I'd be over here because this is where, the club Mirage used to be kicking on Monday and Tuesdays. And then my boy needed, I'm not going to have him come to South Tampa for dope, right? There's cops everywhere. So he'd come to West Tampa and do that. And then on the weekends, I'd be in South Tampa with the weekend crew and be just selling. Nobody knew about that apartment, right? Because I wanted to have a place where I could have the work at. Nobody was around. And so I was in 2 places. Now, before I was sleeping on a park bench. Now I got 2 apartments.
Right.
I got 3 cars. I bought a bike. I didn't even know how to ride a bike. Right. Like the goal now is just I'm stacking money. I end up having another kid. Right. I'm paying for my child support, mind you. I'm actually paying more than what my child support is supposed to be. I'm giving it right to his mom. So I'm paying the child support and then giving her money on the side to make sure my kid is good. Right. I'm just living that life. Right. And so I was like, yo, this is it. Like, get rich or die trying. Right. That was my goal. Yeah. We got into scuffles. We got into heated arguments. Sometimes we, in the clubs, like, one time I'll never forget. They beat up one of my friends, and we waited outside for the security guards. It was crazy, doing real crazy stuff. Like now, the money is just coming in. It's coming in at a high clip. But then,
yeah, I was gonna say, do people get busted? Does anybody ever get busted? Like, what happens when?
Yes. So, I kept a real big, like I kept a small circle of people. So I hung around my plug. I hung around the people that I would distribute to, right?
Right.
But they were getting money, so we're not together all the time, right? We're probably linking up 1 or 2 nights a week, in the club, right? Making life, making it rain after we're all done. After we're done, we leave. Cool. Go back to our regular life. Go back to our own thing. So the real downfall of the operation, if you want to call it, first it happened with.
I'm sure that's what the feds called it.
Yeah, Operation Get 'em. So what ended up happening? So there were, again, like I had a small circle, but my plug ended up catching a charge.
How did he get charged? He just got pulled over randomly? Oh, okay.
Random.
But that's better than 120 hours worth of wiretaps,
right?
And them catching him with 6 keys.
So he ends up catching a charge. He's making a move, and he ends up getting caught and having to do a year. He gets caught with under 28 to 120, I think it is the charge. So he ends up having to do, maybe it was under 28 grams, but he ends up having to do a year and some change.
Okay. Is this state or federal?
State.
Okay.
So because it's a slap on the wrist, but he still has to go in.
Yeah.
And so I need to do I have to find another plug. And so now I'm taking.
Does he go in and get back out like on bond, or he goes in and never gets out?
He goes in, gets back out on bond because
why can't he hand you off to his guy, or he doesn't want to?
So, he had like a family operation, and they did hand me off to other people, but because he was the one that facilitated a lot of it, he was kind of like the brains, and we had a good relationship, right? So he would be able to do things. When you start dealing with other people, it's not the same kind of love that they're showing you.
Right.
And so it was almost like I would go down to Miami. Before I go down to Miami, a day, and then now I'm having to stay down there 3 days. The guy, doesn't know where to, can't get it on time. The same like it's just a domino effect, right? It's not the same kind of love that I was getting. Now it's taking me longer. I'm losing money.
Yeah. So these guys are they're not running a professional operation without him.
Right, exactly. And so I have to start going to other people. Now I end up finding other people, but the work isn't as good, or they start charging me out the wazoo for it, right? Because I'm getting great prices from him, and now these people are seeing me as more of like a come up.
Yeah.
So they're starting to charge me like prices that. Also, a lot of them knew that I was the man, and now I'm coming to them to see if they can get anything, and they're like, "Oh yeah, well now I'm the man, right?" So it's an ego thing as well on both ends, right? I'm like, I can't believe I gotta buy this shit from this dude. This shit is trash. Like,
right.
We're taking a step backwards. Like, my boy now, because my plug gets locked up, I'm losing people, and so it's kind of like a setback. Right. So for a year, I'm losing people. I'm not making the same kind of money as I was before. I'm not getting the same kind of work. I still have the loyal circle, but they're even telling me like, hey man, this shit is kind of like getting worse. Like, what's going on? Like, you falling off or something? And so I have to start taking more chances. He ends up getting back out a year later, and things are good. But what ends up happening is, someone that he introduced me to, his barber, he goes and he was cutting our hair, right? Whenever he'd come up to Tampa, he introduced me to him. The dude used to cut DJ Khaled's hair, all these things. He was up here. Whenever these celebrities would be up here, he'd cut their hair. And so my plug, he's a moneymaker, right? He wants to spend money. So he would go get his hair cut by this guy. He's the best barber in Tampa, who's a celebrity barber. And then I go meet him. And so I developed a relationship with him, right? But I never did business with him. Never. He wasn't like that. He was a good barber, right? When my plug gets out, it's not the same, right? It's not the same. And then I don't have the demand for as much as I was grabbing. So we're not spending as much time with each other and we're not spending as much money.
Okay.
But I'm still seeing the barber. One day the barber calls me and he tells me, hey man, like I got a plug, right? Because I'm looking for work. I got a plug. He says he's got 5 keys for 17 apiece. At the time, this is in 2008. At the time, they were going for 24, 25. So for him to say that he had it for 17 apiece, red flag, like real, like, whoa, how do you, I've never done business with you. He knows what I do, obviously, because of the plug, but he's my barber, we talk, but I've never sold him, I haven't sold him a bag of right? So it's like, this guy is just all of a sudden calling me out the blue. So I'm like, yo, how you got it? He was like, oh, this dude from Miami is up here. Dude named White Mike. So I'm like, okay. So I call my plug in Miami. I can't buy 5 of them. So I call him like, yo, this dude said that the barber said that he can get 5 keys for 17 apiece. And he was like, my plug was like, what? I can't get him for lower than 23 right now, 21. Like, how does he got him? He's like, tell him if it's legit, I'll buy 5 of them right now. And then as he's saying that, he's telling me like, who's he getting it from? And I'm like, he says some dude named White Mike in Miami. He was like, yeah, he's up here. So he's like, White Mike, let me make some calls. So I'm like, cool. I called the dude back. I'm like, yo, I can't do anything with him right now because I just don't have the demand for it. But I call my boy that and he might grab him. He was like, but he wants to check on who you getting them from. He's like, all right, yeah, that's cool. When my plug calls me back about an hour later, he's like, yo, tell your boy tell the barber not to do the move. I'm like, why? He's like, bruh, I've called around. Right? I've called my plugs. I've called everybody. And everybody's saying that there's no way that he'd be able to get them in Tampa for 17. He's like, and the dude that he's talking about, like there's a lot of White Mikes in Miami, but the dude that he's talking about, there's one particular one that got jammed up down here in Miami. And he didn't want to snitch on anybody from Dade. So now he's in Tampa. People are saying that he's in Tampa, rolling people from Tampa so he can come back to Miami. So I'm like, yo, he's like, yo, then after you tell him that, change your number.
Right.
I'm like, all right, cool. So I call him, tell him, hey, bro, the plug called back. He said, don't do that move, bro. That dude that you calling he's rolling on people, bro. He's talking, he's telling. And he was like, oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, for real. Like, don't.
The barber's in on it.
Yeah, right. So I'm like,
you should have told the barber.
Well,
you should have said to the barber, like, yeah, man, my guy just can't do it, bro. He's
because we're
tried to help you out.
I know the kids. I know his wife. I know everybody. I've been to this guy's house. So I'm telling him like, cool, right? No, I'm thinking,
that now you must know that doesn't mean anything.
For sure. There's this thing though, right? And it's a tough situation for me, right? I have like this honor code, right? I'm not gonna watch if I know something. I'm not gonna watch anybody. I'm not gonna send my people in the head cracker. I'm gonna give you a chance, and that may be my downfall for sure. I think. I mean, obviously it was, and I'll get to that right now. Turns out he hangs up the phone. I change my number. The idiot does the move anyway.
So he wasn't in on it.
He wasn't.
He was just trying to facilitate He was trying to pick up
facilitate it. But what ends up happening is he gets in the car with the guy, and the guy's car is wired. He doesn't have the money. He just wants to see if it's real. I guess he's never seen a whole brick in his hands before. He's in the car. The guy puts the brick in his hand. He opens it up, closes it, gives it back, and says, "Hey, look, I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna work with it." He leaves. He doesn't find anybody to sell it to, right? Because nobody will touch it.
This is 5 keys, or just he picks up one?
He pick up one, but the guy says, "I got." He pulls it out of a bag. Then and 2 days later, they pick him, like they lay down the whole barbershop.
Right.
Lay down the barbershop off of Bush, right across the street from Chamberlain High School. They jump out, all going to the barbershop. Lay down.
This is DEA.
DEA. Everybody.
They pull up.
I'm not even at the barbershop.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. The whole thing.
Lay everybody down. Jump out of vehicles, unmarked vehicles.
You understand? Some of the people watching this might not know what lay everybody down.
Yeah. Right. So they go in there and they raid the barbershop. I'm not at the barbershop, and I hear that they are raiding it. Like they're like. Everybody is getting put to the ground. The only one that ends up in cuffs is the barber.
Yeah. Can you imagine you're a celebrity barber? You're doing fine. You're making good money. You've got a good reputation. You're doing okay. And you just decide, I kind of want to be, I'm going to help this guy out. I'm going to be in the mix for a minute. It's kind of cool. Like you feel safe because you rub elbows with these guys. So you start to think that you know what they know, and you and you're just, really, in his mind, he's probably just thinking, probably not going to really make any money. They're probably going to give him a couple thousand.
Right.
And he's probably thinking, I'm just helping this guy. I'm not really even necessarily in the mix. I'm just helping him out. And now you just got hit moving 5 keys.
Conspiracy to move 5 keys, which is the hardest, and they got you on video.
I mean, you're just done.
Now you're done.
I need to take, can I get 5 years? Can I get 5 years?
So I'm glad that you said that. His wife calls me. This is the crazy part. How she got my number was crazy because I had changed my number.
Right.
So how she got my number was wild. I had to end up changing another phone. So she calls me. She's like, "Hey, they picked him up. He needs bail money. He needs this and that and this." And
you told him not to do it.
Yeah.
How close are you?
Yeah, and that's what I'm telling myself. Like, yo, he was my barber. Like, yo, we kicked it a few times, but it's kind of crazy. And she's like, they're saying that he's gonna get 20 years. They got him. I was like, well, what is the charges that they gave him? I told him not to do it. Like, I told him, she was like, they're looking at 20 years to life. It's conspiracy to buy 5 kilos of cocaine. It's fed, right? They're asking him to. She didn't say they're asking him. They said he's got 2 kids, and he's got 2 kids and me. I'm not staying around 20 years. He better tell them what he knows. So I changed my phone number. Right? I'm like, I'll call you back. Yo, I call the plug, and I tell him, hey, look, I'm going to change my phone number again. He got picked up. Conspiracy to buy 5 keys, and his wife just called me. I have a feeling that he's going to tell. So it was like, all right, cool. Change it. I lay low for a couple of weeks. Like I'm like not doing anything. Me and the plug talk about it. We're not doing anything, right?
I feel like they could get you for at least obstruction of justice for telling him not to do the deal. I feel like you, even though you haven't done anything, they could still rope you into the conspiracy because you called and you checked for him. And obstruction of justice isn't necessarily what everybody thinks it is, but you did help further hit the conspiracy by that seems like an easy charge to get you with, if not the conspiracy in general.
So I'm not sure if he actually knew that he had that it was real or not, because this is what I'm saying is like he called me telling me something that he had. If the guy's wire was tapped dope, what ends up happening, and this is a huge thing around Tampa, people start going down left and right in Tampa. Like I feel like he couldn't
have pulled this off. Like the barber wasn't in a position to start cracking everybody else off.
No,
right? Or you do think so?
Yeah.
You think he made a bunch of calls?
He made a bunch of calls, and they told him, "We got you. If you don't want to go down, who were you telling? Who were you gonna get to help?"
Yeah, but is that enough? His word isn't necessarily enough. He's got to set him up. He's got to make some phone calls. He's got to.
All of a sudden, people's stuff got raided. Right. Everybody started going down. Remember I told you the dudes that would give me work?
Yeah.
That was trash. They go down. One of these guys had a Panamera, like a Porsche Panamera at the time. He goes down first. Some other barbers go down. Like people are starting to drop, and he didn't necessarily know a lot about me. He didn't know where I lived because I would go meet him at the barbershop. He didn't know any of the people that he had from me. Like it was.
But the other guys know you.
The other guys, they know me, but they don't know anything. Remember, I have 2 apartments.
Yeah.
I'm not really giving them work. I have to buy work from them.
Right.
I'm not picking up any of their phone calls because I changed my number. They're not calling me. And then they have their own operation. People started going down left and right. So I'm thinking to myself, the word around the streets was, this dude is snitching. He gets out.
This is the barber.
The barber.
I still don't see how a barber's in the middle. I don't see how he's. But he might. I wonder how long this process was going on.
So this is the crazy part, right? Remember, I'm laying low. I'm not talking to him. Yeah. He gets out on bond. Well, he gets out,
right?
Because he didn't have a bond,
right? That's a surety bond. You just sign. They're gonna. I mean, obviously they're gonna let him out.
Yeah, he gets out, and then he's starting to tell people that he's gonna get probation.
That's tough to pull off. He had a good lawyer. Yeah. If you get a good lawyer, yeah, you get caught with 5 keys and get probation. If you're just a really good lawyer.
And you roll on half of Tampa.
Well, that's just part of it.
And so this is the part, right? So I'm not going to go see him as the barber anymore, right? No. I'm not checking him anymore, right?
It's what is it? Great clips or what?
Yeah, right.
Straight. That's never happens.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I stopped. I just started growing my hair out. No lie. So I was like, I cut ties. I start doing things differently. I end up. My grandmother has a heart attack like two months later. She was living in Puerto Rico at the time. She has a heart attack, and my aunt works in Miami Jackson Hospital. Mm-hmm. And so she needed to have heart surgery. And so my aunt was like, come to Florida, stay with us, we'll have heart surgery.
Your aunt come. Your grandmother.
My grandmother,
come.
right?
Yes,
and stays with them. Stays in the hospital. I end up finding out about it. I'm about to have a second kid, right? The girl ends up being pregnant, and so I want my grandmother to meet her because I'm thinking my grandmother's gonna die.
Right.
I don't know why. To be honest with you, like we were going through it at the time. Maybe it was a hard time, right? I wanted to meet my grandmother. I go down to Miami Jackson, go meet her. I'm not planning. I told you I'm laying low. I'm not planning to do nothing. Everything that I'm doing is small time. Nothing. I'm not giving nothing to nobody. The water is cut off, right? Everything's good.
Have you already been indicted though?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No. This is how I get arrested.
Oh, okay.
So I never make any moves with anybody else in the car. No, I always stay by myself. I had like this system that I would not go away from. Don't smoke in the car. Never make any moves with anybody. Always do things myself. Car, you know what I'm saying? Don't be flashy. I had a little beater. Man, I wasn't making any moves. I was laying low. I took my charger down there. I had this girl with me, right? We're chilling. She's my girlfriend at the time, I guess you could say. My grandmother has this heart attack. I go down there. I'm taking her with me. Hey, we're down there. I'm down there a few days. She meets my grandmother. My grandmother's doing all right. On the way, right as I'm leaving, my plug calls me. He's like, yo, you in Miami? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, I got something for you if you need it. I know you laying low. And I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, what's up? So we always kept in touch. Me and him would keep in touch, but I'm not getting nothing big. I'm always getting something small, like very light.
This is the original plug that went to prison and got back
yep,
out. Okay, so he doesn't want to go to prison again.
Yeah, nah, he's right.
So he's been to prison once. He understands.
Right.
Like, I didn't have to come here at all.
Right.
Really.
Right. But he's he's a solid. I actually thought about that. But he was solid. He was a solid dude. Like when I got locked up, like that he took care of my kid and everything. But like a longer story shorter, he calls me and he gives me a half a brick. Right. I know somebody in Miami that needs something, so I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna make a quick $5,000, right? And then I'll take the little stuff back up with me. Even though I don't move like that, I'm just gonna make this money. I'm gonna take the little stuff with me back up. Man, I get the work. I go up. I get rid of half of it, right? So now I've got 4 ounces left.
Is this in Tampa?
This is in Miami. This is in Miami. Because I started knowing people when making quick flips. I off some zips. I have 3 left, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna keep these for me because I can do some small work, right? I got money saved up. I'm just chilling, and I can manage with this. So I go back up. I have this girl in the car. I get pulled over in Alligator Alley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the speed limit. The cop comes up to me. He's like, I'm pulling you over for window tint. He turns around, pulls me over for window tint. I'm like, okay, cool. My license is good. I always made sure I'm paying child support on time. My license is good. Never been stopped. He comes in. He gives me a window tint thing, and then all of a sudden he gets a call on the radio, and it's like, he lets me go. So I'm like, oh, shit. All right. Never been pulled over. What are the chances I'm going to get pulled over again? I'm good. I'm in the clear. I go, so this is on Alligator Alley in like Collier County, like the end of Alligator Alley. I go up 60 more miles to Punta Gorda, Charlotte County. I'm doing like 67 now because I'm like kind of spooked, right? I had this girl in the car. I'm a little spooked, but I'm like, I'm going to do 67. I got it on cruise control. I'm getting on a highway patrol officer. Now, the other guy, he's in a brown highway patrol, Florida State Highway Patrol. This next highway patrol officer gets on the side of me, gets in front of me, and starts slowing down. And like we're on I-75, and he slows down to like 40 miles an hour. So I get, you go to go around him, right? He gets behind me, and then he hits the lights. So I'm like, yo, there's no way I'm about to get pulled over. I've never been pulled over on I-75, especially riding dirty. I'm not supposed to. Now I'm getting pulled over again.
Right.
This guy did 30 in front of me. He pulls me over. I have the warning that the first highway patrol officer gives me
for the tint.
So, and I'm an idiot for the way I did this, but I get out of the car really fast. Like, I'm like, yo, I already been pulled over. And I'm waving the pink thing. He's like, get your ass back in the car. This guy's not dressed like the other highway patrol officer.
Okay.
This guy has like vest, like looking like he's like drug patrol.
Right.
He's like, we got another car coming. I pulled you over for window tint. I said, I've already been pulled over for window tint. Here's the warning. He said he came back to the car. He's like, well, I'm pulling you over for obstruction of your license plate. And he flicks the little light where the license plate is.
Yeah.
He hits it, and my license the light comes out, and he's like, you see that? And I'm like, yo, you just hit that. And he was like, stay right there. He takes the tag and he runs it, right? He comes back to me. He's like, I want you to step out the vehicle. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? He's like, take your shoes off. So he pats me down. Then he tells me to take my shoes off. I give him my shoes. He's like, I got another vehicle on the way here. Do you have any drugs inside the car? And I'm like, why would I have any drugs in the car? I got drugs in the car.
Right.
But it's like, why would I have drugs in the car? He's like, I'm asking you, do you have any drugs in the car? I want to search the vehicle. I'm like, you can't search the vehicle. He's like, I smell weed. I'm like, I don't smoke in my car. What are you talking about? He's like, I want you to sit over here. He brings a canine. The girl is still in the car, mind you, right? She's actually in the back seat because it's a long trip. She was sleeping. But when I get pulled over, I'm like, yo, I'm getting pulled over again. She's like, what? He goes, he's like, I'm like, yo, there's a woman in the back of the car. He's like, all right, cool. But he's got me basically on the side of the road, right? He brings the dog. He has a canine unit come there. They bring a dog, and obviously the dog sits, right? He's like, you have drugs in the car. We're gonna search the vehicle. He gets the girl out the car. They search. I had the stuff wrapped up in the side of in the trunk right next to the tire, right? So it was an easy find. They go into the trunk first. Boom, find the 3 ounces. They're telling me just like this. They're like, all right, you're arrested. You know, they put the handcuffs on me pretty much there. They put handcuffs on her. They're taking us both in. He's like, listen, man, he's basically like, he calls the other cop. He's like, how you let him go with a traffic warning? Da, da, da. This guy had drugs in the car, blah, 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 like all this crazy stuff, right? They have us on the side of the road. They're searching the vehicle for like an hour and a half. So they bring me over, and they're like, hey, you could take, we could take this right now. Like, we could take this. We can make sure that this never goes, you get a slap on the wrist. Tell me who you were taking this to or where you got it from, and we're going to make this all go away. And I was like, nah, my mom never raised me like that. I'm always trying to take accountability.
Well, first of all, you had no right to search my vehicle.
Right.
I smelled marijuana is bullshit.
Big facts.
All of this, when you saw the citation or the warning, you should have let me go. When you then came up with the I smell marijuana and said we're going to bring in the drug, to me, there's multiple ways to get all of this thrown out.
All that. And I'm thinking to myself that, and I'm like, nah, man, just point me to the vehicle, man. I'm good to go. They do a search on myself, and they also search the girl that I was with. They arrest both of us. They give us the same charges. I also remember I told you I had a pistol on me too because it was in my name. So now they're giving me...
None of this means anything. None of this matters.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that's how I feel. And I got lawyer money, right?
Right.
Problem is that when we get in there, they give us both the same charges. So they give her armed trafficking. They give me armed trafficking. They give her distribution with intent, right? They give her possession with distribution intent. The same charges on both of us, right? Then they do a pregnancy test on her, and she's pregnant with my kid. And I find this out in jail, in the holding area. It was crazy.
The second kid?
Yeah, my second kid. They also, this is the crazy part, I found out through the vent in the cell that she told me through the vent that
so she says she's on the what, one floor above you or two?
She's where she's on the she's actually in the women's holding facility.
Oh, so she's right next door. That's why it's the vent, because otherwise they'd be the toilets.
Yeah, she's on the other side, and they're like, she's tapping. There's other people in there. She's like, I'm pregnant. They did a piss test on me, and I'm a urinalysis, and I'm pregnant. I'm like, holy shit. I find out this girl, she was supposed to go to back to New York. Mm-hmm. And I find out she's pregnant. And now we got charges. And they gave me no bond. They gave us both no bond for the first day. Like first couple of days. So I'm kind of like going through it. We spend 2 days in jail. Then they finally give us a bond at the arraignment, right? Because of armed trafficking. And
right. Which is like a surety bond, or do you actually have to put up anything?
It's a collateral bond. Like what's the difference?
One, you're agreeing, like they're like, oh, it's $100,000 surety bond, which means I promise I'll be responsible for the $100,000, but they just let you sign and you can leave.
Yeah.
And the other one is no, it's $100,000, and you have to go get a bondsman to give us the $100,000, and you pay 10%.
Exactly.
To give him $10,000.
Exactly. That's exactly. Yeah. So.
Okay.
yo, I ended up being in the newspaper and everything. They made me look like Tony Montana. Like, yo,
Right.
this Vincent Serrano was caught. Like, it looked bad, right? Because I told you it was the weekend. They made us look really bad in the article. They were saying that I'm known, like I'm trafficking cocaine. I was caught with 3 ounces, like, yo, they 120 grams or something like that. So it was wild, man. And it was like 96 grams of blow and whatever. So I'm like,
You've never been arrested.
Never been arrested. First time nonviolent.
But do you realize this when they're talking to you? Because you're sitting there like you now know. I've never been arrested. I had a weapon. The charge itself may not even stick for them searching the car. I never said anything. As long as she doesn't say anything. Well, even if she says something, it's probably true unless you get guilted into doing something. But at this point, you've got to be thinking that there's a chance I get out of it, and if not, I really don't get that much. Shouldn't get that much time,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
I should get a drug program, right?
But that's not what the detectives are telling, or that's not what they're going in. They're like, damn, bro, like you'll be lucky to watch your son graduate. You're like, what?
Right?
You know,
right?
What? Well, he had a gun. That's a minimum mandatory. What? You know, none of which really applies to you,
right? So but
you don't know.
To me, this was easy.
Right.
This was easy.
Okay, so you felt like you were good.
Yeah. But to her.
Oh, yeah. If they're talking about a month in jail, she's fucking freaking out. She's like.
And she doesn't live here. She lives in New York. And now she can't go back because she's out on bond.
Right.
And so it was a crazy situation. And now she's pregnant as well. And so I go to the bondsman. They get us out. Cool. Give them the money. Get a lawyer. Yo, I could get you off. This is open and shut. No problem. Like worst thing you're gonna get is a drug program. I'm thinking to myself, all right, cool. I'll get a little bit of probation. During I guess the discovery and all those things, right? And talking to him, it takes I was out on bond for about 8 months, 9 months fighting the case. Mm-hmm. These people would not move off of the state minimum mandatory.
What is that?
3 years.
3 years, okay.
And my lawyer's like, yo, they are saying that they have a narc. Somebody is narking on you. And the only way we can find out
is if you go to trial.
Yeah.
So you have a bigger problem. So they're not, the search isn't getting thrown out at this point.
No.
If they actually have somebody.
And he's like, who can possibly be the narc? So I'm thinking to myself, is it the plug?
Right.
Is it the barber? Who could it be?
Because of the guys you were buying from before? Because you've got like 5 people just from this story that it could be.
It could be anybody, right? So here's the crazy part. During that time where I'm on bond, obviously I'm moving more cautious.
You didn't go get a job working at Wawa? You weren't you weren't working the cash register at Wawa?
I was stacking up money.
Jesus.
Right? I was stacking up money. But I was definitely not living like I was before, right? When this girl, they're telling me now the lawyer's changing his mind, right? He's like, listen, I can't come off of the minimum mandatory because if we go to trial, they're looking at 86 years for you. And if
I don't know why lawyers do that, but you're still looking at a lot of time.
I'm looking at some time.
It's not 86 years,
right?
You
may counting them out.
Yeah. You may do it. You may be in there for a decade,
right.
or even if with good times, you could do 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, 5 to 7, right? I don't want to do none of that, but right. But he's like, and the worst thing is, if we go to trial, do you think that this girl is going to stay solid and face the same time as you?
No.
So now, because she's now my co-defendant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they may have multiple people, that one, whoever their informant is, and the girl.
And
you're not winning at trial.
I'm not winning at trial. And we end up, when she's pregnant and we get into any arguments, the first thing she says is, I'm not doing no time. I'll tell on you before that, right? So I'm like, I called a lawyer right after, like, yo, what do we have to do to plead out, right? Like, what are we looking at? And the lawyer's like, I can't get no less than 3. And so I'm preparing now for me to go to jail. Mm-hmm. I'm also preparing for her because she's got my kid. So help her get an apartment down here because she can't leave because she's gonna get probation. Because that's what the deal is. I'm gonna eat the 3 years and then she's gonna get put on papers. Her brother comes down from New York and is like, hey, I want to get my hair cut. And I'm like, yeah, I know a guy, right? Just don't tell him that, anything about me. Don't, because nobody, I catch the charge in Port Charlotte. So nobody really knows that I'm catching this charge, right? I don't want anybody to know because it'll spook everybody out, right? Because no matter what, no matter if you bond out or not in Tampa, man, if you get out on bond, you're telling.
Yeah. Stop talking.
Yeah, that's
Stop
it.
talking to that guy.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's really what happened. I told my plug that I got jammed up. We really ain't do no more business like that. I told him, look, I'm gonna eat it. They asked me, I'm gonna eat it. Don't worry about it. And then everybody else, I kind of just had to like live off the land a little bit. But I tell her brother to go to the barber to go get his haircut. I'm not getting my haircut from him, but this guy's a civilian. Mm-hmm. Yo, somehow in the conversation, he's asking about me and he's talking about my case and how like I got jammed up.
Yeah. So he knows stuff that he shouldn't know.
He knows stuff and he doesn't know that this is that girl's brother. So we're super tight. So he's just like, he just referred me type stuff. And, he referred me. He's like, oh, yeah. I heard he's got locked up. Yeah, I heard he da-da-da-da. Nobody knows I got locked up. Like, you would have to know that I got locked up. So how do you know that I got locked up? And he's like, yeah, da-da-da. And then he says something. He was like, yeah, so how do you, he's like, yeah, I got caught, da-da-da-da. And he was like, well, how did you get caught? How much work did you get caught with? He's like, yeah, 5 kilos, da-da-da. Like, he's.
But I got probation.
I got probation.
You got 3 ounces.
And I got 3 years. So he's like, that's not adding up. He's like, yeah, I had a good lawyer. Right? Like, I ain't have a good lawyer, right?
Good lawyer.
Right?
They're amazing.
Yeah. He had the state's attorneys with him. So I was like, but I'm not privy to, I'm not there. He's like, you know what though? He goes to smoke a cigarette because the guy's from New York. He's like tripping now. Like he's like real antsy because he realizes this guy is like he's narking, right? So he's like, okay. So he goes out and he smokes a cigarette, and the guy comes out and smokes a cigarette with him, and he's like, yeah, man, though, but it'll be good for him though. Like him getting some jail time would be good.
He's helping you, bro.
Yeah,
he's helping you. It's about people helping people, really.
It is, man, sometimes, right? It's about that. He saved my life, no low key, bitch ass. But like this is the part where
the problem is it's tough love. You don't understand tough love. You needed this.
Yeah, that's what he told him. That's exactly what he told him, right? He said I needed it, right? And it changed my life, man. Like they wouldn't come off the time. I had to ask for, I went in, obviously. I had to ask for a furlough to see my son be born.
Did they give it to you?
They gave it to me.
Yeah, listen, fucking feds are assholes. The feds, it doesn't matter if somebody dies, it doesn't matter anything. But the state, like my cousin was locked up, and when his mom died, they brought him to the funeral. He got to stay at the funeral. He was there out for like 4 or 5, 6 hours. He got 2 marshals with him. You have to pay them.
Yep.
But they'll do it. The feds, they don't care what you pay them. They're not doing nothing for you.
You're doing day for day as much as you can, man.
It's fucked up as the state is. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
It was nice. I got to see him be born, but it was tough. Like. She violated probation while I was inside. She ended up getting 3 years probation. 90 days before she violated probation, she ends up going to prison.
90 days before what?
Before I get out.
Oh, okay.
She ends up violating probation, and she ends up getting a year and a day in prison. My son is 2 years old.
Well, what did she violate probation for? Something stupid, or just drugs, or what?
She did. I think she did a fake accident.
Oh, okay.
Insurance,
Okay. Yeah, insurance fraud. Yeah.
Violated probation. They kicked in their door while my son was there. Took her. My grandmother had to have my son. Then from prison, obviously she blamed me for all that, right?
It's all your fault.
It's all my fault.
No. Typically, women are typically take accountability. No, I'm sure you're different. Take accountability, but it's just odd that
it's
this is clearly your fault.
And it was. I felt like it was, right?
I was locked up in prison while you were running your fraud,
your insurance scams, right?
I feel like that's my fault.
Yeah, and I took the charge to I pled out so that you would not go to jail.
Once again, that's all your fault anyway.
My 90 days before I get out, that happens. My grandmother has to raise my kid. Before I get out, she calls her mom, who lives in New York, to come grab my son. So I don't even get to go out and even see my son. I have to end up taking a plane to go to New York, go see my kid for the first time. It was crazy, man. It's just a crazy situation. And I told myself, like, when I was locked up, like I did state time, but I told myself, like, hey, man, I'm going to be out in 15 months, like 16 months, I'll be on work release. Nah, man. Like, I end up going to war with the police in prison. My attitude was like, I had that arrogance. When I was locked up, man, I was in Orlando. It's at a state facility. It was supposed to be sweet. I got a job in the back gate. The guard that was back there, he was a rookie. He wanted to make a name for himself. This guy would strip search me left and right out the back gate. So I'm getting strip searched because we have to take the swill out of the gate, right? That's my job in the back gate. And I had to go grab on Mondays after the trash has been there, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I gotta unload the trash through each gate. That was my first job, and that shit stinks, right? We would have to poke it to make sure there was no prisoners inside there, take it through that gate, take it through the other gate, bring it back. And every time he came in, like, the Sarge was cool. He wouldn't, you're watching me, you're out there in the gate with me. I'm not doing it, but he was a dick. So he strip searched me every time for humiliation type stuff. Finally, I got tired of it, right? I wrote a job change form while I was there. He didn't like that I wrote the job change form because he has to sign it. He felt like I should have, I don't know what he felt, whatever, but I ended up getting moved out of there and going on the DOT, being the work unit out there, mowing the lawns, digging the ditches,
right.
like all those things. And that was cool, but I would have to pass by him every morning, right. And he would be taking my gain time for nothing. Like, literally just, I'd be working for you're working for your freedom at that point, and he's taking it away, right? So he just, Serrano, come here, boom, boom, boom. Sign your CC for nothing, just for passing through the gate. So, and it would happen at least once a month. That means I'm working that entire month for free, and I'm going to do day for day. One time, I got tired of it. He's like, Serrano, this is at 4:45 in the morning where we got to wake up, go out the gate, wait in line till they open the gate, go to the bus, then they take us to the DOT yard. And one time he calls me, Serrano, come sign your CC. And, I played basketball, so I'm like, I'm not signing that. He's like, here. So he gives it to me. I take the ball, I take the paper, I ball it up, throw it to my legs 2 times, and shoot it in the trash can in front of everybody. And he does not like that, right? And I yell, Kobe. Right? He comes up to me, he's like, cuff up, motherfucker. And I'm like, obviously it's one of these guys, like, so he's like, you're going to jail, which is the whole, right?
Yeah.
I'm already in jail. That's what I tell him. I'm already in jail. I'm going on vacation. So he goes to cuff up, and he puts the cuff on my right hand, he puts it behind me. And then when he comes to grab my left hand, he grabs it and then kind of like jolts it, like
you yanked away,
like I yanked away, and he hits the panic button. and grabs me by my neck and takes me down. Now, I had a knee injury in college. Actually, and not in college. I had a knee injury after college in Dominican Republic. Like when I came back from DR when they took my passport, I ended up playing ball. You know, I told you I was playing ball, and I hurt my knee. So I had a bad knee. So when he grabs me and he pulls me back, I can't stabilize. I fall right with him. My head hits his nose, bleeding. So he's like, motherfucker, right? So I see him bleeding. He's grabbing me. He's like punching me. I turn over and I just start wailing on him. I start wailing on him. Boom, boom, boom. Out of the corner of my eye,
you see that the guards,
the guards are stuck piling up at the back gate because it's only him and the Sarge. The Sarge it was early in the morning. The Sarge is the only other person that could open the gate. And he's reading his newspaper or whatever in the morning. So me and this guy are fighting on the ground. The Sarge can't see nothing. He's reading his paper. Me and him are fighting. Boom, 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 boom. People are like, the COs are rushing to the back gate, but they're piling up. They're like, hey! I'm beating this guy up because he's trying to kill me. Yo, the Sarge comes out. I was cool with the Sarge. He's like, Serrano, what are you doing? I'm like, he hit me, Sarge. He's like, cuff up. So I get down, I cuff up. He cussed me up. There's no problem. The dude gets up. It's like, motherfucker. And he kicks me in my stomach, pulls out the Black Jesus, which is the mace can.
Right.
Sprays me 2 times in my eyes, 1 time in my nose and mouth. He don't know that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is any of this on camera?
Yes.
Okay.
So deep because they tried to give me 5 extra years for assault on a Leo. The crazy thing about it is that while I'm on DOT on the outside, like I called some of my friends and had them bring in tattoo ink, contacts, contact solution, and we brought it in. So I'm wearing contacts because I don't want to wear the box Chevys that they make you wear in the prison.
Yeah,
because things were ugly. So I'm wearing contacts, and this guy sprays me 2 times with the mace, the pepper spray. My eyes, I'm going blind basically, and I'm being cuffed.
Right.
They finally open the back gate. The whole compound basically comes out in the back gate. They take me out of there. I'm yelling, please let me take out the contact. These people do not let me. They're not letting me out these cuffs. I'm like burning. I'm burning. Everything is burning. I can't breathe. I've got drool, spit. I can't even cry. Like I'm like so messed up. They take me to the nurse's office. They're sitting me. I'm begging them, please let me take these contacts out of my eyes. They're like, how do you got contacts? I guess let me get them out. They're packing up my shit because they're gonna send me obviously to the hole, right? Or whatever. They bring me back out there. They finally let me take the contacts out. They bring the circle. They see that I have them. I take the contacts out, put them in, boom. They take me to go take a shower. These people don't tell you, don't put cold water on this stuff. You get in the shower. They're recording this, by the way, too. They're recording the entire thing. The COs that I was cool with, that I had a good relationship, that shit don't matter. They're the ones holding the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They make me take a shower. It's burning even more. My eyes, I couldn't see anything. I'm naked. I'm like going through the whole gamut of what not to do as a prisoner. And listen, I'm a first-time offender, non-violent offender, by the way, right? Going through it. They send me to Y dorm, which is basically the dungeon of the main unit. The nurse comes and checks up on me. They basically, when you're in close management, they tell you what you're in close management for. Assault on a law enforcement officer.
Right.
So now it's known that I like to hit COs.
Yeah. So the COs are always really, really cool with you after that.
Yeah, they're great with me. I'm their favorite.
We better treat this guy with some respect.
They take me to the nurse's office a day after, right? They took me first to make sure I wasn't in there for intake. They take me next. And then on the way back, they dump me. I don't know if you know what being dumped is. Mm. So I'm in a black box now because I can't come out. I'm 24-hour lockdown. I come out of the cell, I have to have black box behind me. They put your arms behind your back. You're in chains. You're being escorted through your arms by the COs. Being dumped. They took me to the nurse. Nurse says that I'm healed up.
Right.
And then on the way back, they front like I tripped, and they dump your head into the concrete.
Okay.
And I'm literally face first,
right,
with one person's hand on their back, one person's hand on the front. Dump me into the concrete. Chip my tooth. They on the way up, they're kicking me, they're hitting me. They're basically behind where there's no cameras, and they beat me up. Send me into the office, and then they put a metal, a magnet on the window, and they say that I'm a gunner. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah.
Right? I'm supposed to.
Yeah. I know. We know
that
what a
guy,
gunner is. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So now the nurse is coming to check up on me. They're keeping me back there just to heal up.
Yeah.
And it was wild because I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm supposed to be going home, man. Like, my mail isn't coming. There's no calls. I'm living like, it's crazy. I go from, my life was like, hey, I was finally doing something, finally had money, finally making a life, to like the bottom of the bottom. Like, basically there's one step from dying. That's what I felt like. There was, luckily, and you know this, the prisoners who witnessed, the inmates who witnessed the situation, there were 25 grievances that they wrote about what happened to me. And they wrote them
right
as, hey, look, that guy attacked him. It wasn't like that. And inmates ain't.
No, they're typically not stepping into a situation. They're like, it's none of my business.
It's none of my business. They all, like, that's what saved me from the camera too, as well. But the inmates actually saying it, because when they gave me a DR hearing, a disciplinary hearing, and they were saying that they were thinking about pressing charges, but then all of a sudden I got shipped, and they sent me from a low custody, community custody, to a maximum heightened security level 4 prison in Santa Rosa, where I spent 23 hours. I spent 22 months basically in the box. Close management, only showered 3 times a week or 2 times a week, 24-hour lockdown. And most of the time, man, I was there. I ended up being on the show Locked Up, which was crazy. I'm rapping because all I could do was write music. Like, I didn't know if I was going to die in there.
Right.
And to keep my mind, like, I spent 6 months in a room by myself. It was wild. So it was crazy. It was crazy. It was just a crazy time. Like, the last 6 months, I spent 6 months on the pound, less than 6 months, maybe 4 months on the pound, and then 22 months in solitary confinement with another 6 months in a room by myself, to finally get in a bunkie. And 18 months, I ended up doing an extra 6 months because, I didn't like the way they would treat you. Like, I was like, that inmate was like, I don't care what you guys say. I got people who love me on the outside. Like, they would like want you to be their entertainment. Like, they would want you to be like their monkey. I was literally on the chain gang. Like, we're walking outside, on close management. In order to get out, you had to be on the chain gang and kind of like dig up the dirt or pick up the plants and stuff. And while you're out there, they're like stacking trays up and asking you to jump over the trays with your chains on. And the winner would get like cafeteria food or whatever. And so all these dudes were doing this stuff, man. And when they be like, Serrano, go ahead, jump over. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not your circus. I'm like, you don't want no food? I was like, nah, I'll do. I'll get the food when I get out of here. And they did not like that. They didn't like the fact that I wasn't like playing to the game. So they would fuck with me, man. And I would fall right into their traps. Like, because I figured, like, y'all gonna either kill me or one day you're gonna let me out of here. But I'm not gonna, like, I knew who I was on the outside. I knew who I was, and they were just trying to strip my identity. And I just felt like I didn't want that to happen, Long story short, I ended up doing an extra 6 months in CM because one of the officers was like, man, you got a crazy attitude. Like, the other CO wants to beat you up. Like, you want to go behind the thing and just give him some time? And I'm like, yo, is there going to be a camera? Show him. Like, he's like, nah. I was like, nah, I don't want no problems. And so they went up, and I got another like threatening a law enforcement officer because I wouldn't fight the guy behind the camera. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I know I'm the guy that I don't take disrespect at all. Like, I don't care where I'm at. I'm not going to let you put your foot on my neck. I just can't live like that. I couldn't live with myself. I can't sleep if I feel like that. But they got rides for you in prison if you that kind of person, man. And I basically got on every single one of them. 6 months before I was released, they finally released me out of close management. And then, thank goodness, man, like my friends came and got me out of prison. I got released from DeSoto in Arcadia, Florida.
So how long did you do?
I did 2 years and 10 months.
Okay.
So I was supposed to do 2 years and 5 months, but gain time from 6 months only got me out 60 days early.
Right.
I got let out on April Fool's Day of 2012. I thought they were fucking with me, man. I thought they were gonna make a right turn and I was gonna get dumped again, but they let me out, man. So yeah, April Fool's 2012. That Locked Up episode showed up. They put it on MSNBC 12 days later, and I got to see myself. Mad people called me. It's crazy because when people see you on TV, somehow they find out your number. They don't know your number, right?
No.
But you get on TV.
I can't tell you how many people I bump into that tell me that will remind me what good friends we were growing up, and I'm thinking, I barely remember you, bro. We were not good friends.
Sixth grade?
Yeah. I think I went to a party one time where you were there.
Yeah, it happens. So when I was out, I told myself that I was going to do the right thing and I was going to get a job. That lasted 6 months. I got fired. Yeah, I got fired from a position. I was going to do door-to-door sales for alarms. Not I was going to do. I did it. I moved to Pittsburgh because one of the conditions of my release was like, hey, if I do these 3 years, I'm not coming out on papers. Like, I want to do my time and that's it. And so I didn't have any probation, so I was able to leave the state of Florida. One of the guards told me, yo, when you get out, just leave Florida because you got a F on your record. They're going to pull you over every time they see you and you got trafficking. So get out of Florida. So I went. One of my friends had got a job. He changed his life. He did door-to-door sales in Pittsburgh, and I wanted to work on the music. He said he made like $100K his first year. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go out there. Ended up training with him. I mean, I just came out the joint, so I don't care. Like, I'm ready to do whatever, right? First door knock, end up giving these people an alarm system, and why? Who better to sell it? I was locked up with all of them, right? I tell you exactly what they're looking for, right? I sell the first door, and I did that for like 3 months, made some money, and then they fired me because of my record. When I wrote the application, I told them I had a felony. There was no problem. But when we went to a different state in South Carolina, and when we applied, they made us apply for permits to go door to door. And when they applied for permits, they called the company like, "Yo, do you know this guy just got out of prison? Like, yo, what kind of people do you hire? You guys have a reputational company. We should kick you guys out." And they were like, "Look, man, we got to let you go, man. Like, can't have you on there. They won't do it."
All right.
So I went right back, but I all that time around police officers, I was like, look, man, I'm not doing blow no more. No Class A felonies for me. I'm gonna start messing with weed or trees. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna do trees. Like, did I say the wrong word?
No.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna start dealing with trees because it's damn near legal. And the same plugs that when I got out, like, they called me like the same day. Like, while I was locked up, they took care of my family. They took care of for my son's birthdays. They would give them, take them to Build-A-Bear and do stuff and get money. And, they appreciated the fact that I didn't roll on them. And so when I got out, they were like, yo, anything you want. So I was like, nah, for 6 months. But then when shit got hard, man, I was like, I'm going to go back to what I know, man. I can't live like this, man. I can't get no job. It was another excuse, right? To not deal with the adversity. And so I called him, and the next day I had 20 pounds in my door. Long story short with that, man, I was doing that, made money, but then I lost a couple of packs through the mail because they were mailing them to me.
Right.
And I was like, yo, why? Like, we're using the mail system. Like they told me, oh, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. And then we end up doing it, and it worked for a while. And then I started putting my own money up. And then they would give me whatever I bought. They would give me half, front me up. And man, I lost 2 packs in the mail. Man, I lost like 15 grand. I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna go to Cali and build my own grow house and do my own stuff. So I sold everything that I had. I got in a car and went to Cali. And when I got there, man, they're like, I had like $50K in cash. And when I got there, they're like, man, you can't start a grow house in California with this. It's not enough money, man. Like, you need like at least $100K for the first 90 days. So I was like, all right. So I put all of it into I was like, fuck it. Look, I'm the type of dude that goes big. I take risks. I'm going to buy all this. I'm going to take all the money. I'm going to make a quick flip because I had people that would do it. Make a quick flip and come back. I'll have like 100. On the way back, man, I got one exit out, man, from Needles, Arizona, man, or in Needles, California, and in Kingsman, Arizona. I took a piss at a gas station, filled up the gas, and I seen this freaking dude, this white dude with like a fisherman's hat, man, and a truck. And he looked at me. He was staring at me. Obviously, I'm in Arizona. He was staring at me. He was just eyeing me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go use the bathroom. I went to Carl's Jr., which is like a Hardee's or whatever out there. I got me a chicken sandwich. And then I got on the highway to go back to Florida with I put the paint cans and I sealed them up because I heard, I watched a little documentary that dogs can't smell through paint.
Right.
And so I had them sealed up. I spent the whole
through
night.
The paint can.
Through paint cans and paint, like the whole buckets.
Okay.
Right? I don't know what I was thinking, man. I sealed them up. They were good. They were brand new. Like I got them in Home Depot. I spent all night at the hotel, like making this thing work. The paint cans look new. I had got paint on putting them in there, so I used those clothes as like I'm a painter.
Right.
I bought paint stuff, put it in the car. Man, that dude, man, I was riding by, I was on the phone, I seen dude, I looked out the left, and in the middle, you know, obviously in the freeway, they have that space where the official cars are, right? Like cops can wait. I passed by, man, and I was on the phone, man, and I seen that dude, man, looking at me, man, and they pointed. I was driving, I was going the speed limit, man. They got behind me, man. It was fucking Border Patrol.
Why? Where are they? Why?
Being Latino in Arizona, man.
Driving
while being Latino, bro. Bro, it was the same dude. That dude, I thought he was a fisherman, whatever.
Yeah.
He was the canine. He actually had the canine in his truck. I didn't see it was an unmarked pickup truck.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. Man,
the dog's probably going in the back, going crazy.
I don't
something?
know. I don't think so. I just think he looked at me because he was like, "Hey." So they came up to me and they were like, "You got any drugs or anything in the vehicle?" I'm like, "Bro, you guys are gonna ask for my license?" Like, yo. And he was like, "No, we just want to make sure you're not smuggling anybody or any drugs or anything like that." So when they pulled me over, I was actually on the phone. I was on the phone with a girlfriend of mine, and I was telling her about, you know, I had sold everything and was moving to Cali, and then I was telling her I'm coming back. You know, maybe we can link up or whatever, have a conversation. And then I'm like, "Yo, they're getting behind me," and she's like, "Oh shit!" Da, da, da. I'm like, "Yo, stay on the phone." You know what I'm saying? Stay on the phone, record it because like I don't know what's going on. She's like, "You keep the phone on." So I put the phone in the Carl's Jr. box where the chicken sandwich was, and I put it in the middle console. And while they were asking me, she could hear everything that they were saying.
Right.
And so while they pulled me out, the dog went around, obviously noted that I had, you know, something was in the car. They pulled me out. Once they found out I was a felon already, they automatically put me in handcuffs for their safety, put me in the back of the truck, put me in the back of the squad car. And then while they're in there, they didn't search through the front or anything. They went right into the trunk. And they looked, they pulled out everything. I'm watching them and I'm thinking like, yo, they're not, you know what I'm saying? It's paint. Like it should be all right. They're sealed, like whatever. They pull out the paint buckets, start looking, da-da-da. They're looking at the paint buckets. They're sealed. And then one of the guys is like, yo, let's open up the paint can. Right? So they open up the paint can, and everything was good, man. When they opened it up, it was white paint. Paint. It was good. They looked away and they were like, and then they looked down, and the buoyancy, I guess, from the paint, from the air that was inside, I think that's what brought it up. Boing. Yeah. Dude, it was so crazy because I'm thinking I beat him. Like, I'm looking in the back of the squad car. I have my hands behind my back. I'm like, okay, good. This shit worked. Because they're like, yo, we don't know that. And then all of a sudden, when they pulled it out, you should have seen these guys, though. These guys thought that they caught the biggest dope dealer ever. When they pulled it out, they were like, yeah. We're on the side of the road on I-10 or whatever. And they're like, yeah. Like, they're high-fiving. They're da-da-da. I got like 20 pounds, right? But, like, it's not. They're thinking because it's white, they're thinking it's coke, it's dope. They're thinking that it's real live, like something serious. They're taking selfies. They're getting paint all over the car. And I'm like, oh man, I'm going. The first thing I'm thinking is I'm going back to prison. Like 25 pounds. Like, yo,
this doesn't seem like. Is that going back to prison a weight for weed?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because I always told myself that I wasn't gonna do, like, it wasn't a lot. But I just came from like Cali. Is that interstate trafficking? Is it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
What could it be? What are the laws out here? And the way that they were celebrating, man, it made me feel like I was going up, right? And so they were taking selfies with the dog, like, yo, this guy, like, on the side, they had a whole nother crew come. They had like the M4s on the side of the road, like one lane blocked off. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, what's happening? So they had me on the side of the road for like 3 hours. And I know it was that long. Like, I was asking them, like, yo, what's going on? And so they tried to get me to talk. Hey, where were you taking this? Like, da-da-da. I'm like, yo, the car wasn't mine. I made sure the car wasn't mine. I was like, look, man, I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't know what y'all found. None of that's mine. That car's not even mine. Like, you just need to take me. LeBron James was playing the Spurs at the time. So I'm like, just take me back to the jail so that way I could watch this, go through count and go watch this game, man. So they were like, oh, you're not going to cooperate. So they were treating me bad. Like, an hour and a half later, they're coming to me and being like, yo, you want a Gatorade? Like, I'm like, yo, I know I'm not gonna have a Gatorade for a minute. So I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, let me get a Gatorade. They're like, yo, man, like, you seem like a smart dude. So I'm like, yo, these dudes are getting too nice. Like, what's about to happen, right? So they take the handcuffs from behind me and they put them in front of me. I'm sitting there chilling, and then I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, why are we taking so long? And he was like, oh, we're just trying to figure out who's gonna process you. Is it gonna be state? Is it gonna be fed? Is it gonna be, And I'm like thinking in my head, like, okay, what's going on? Like, that's what got me thinking. And then when he came up to me, finally, it's time to go. They undid my cuffs from in front, and I go like this to go behind. And the dude's like, he takes off the cuffs, and I'm like, what's gonna happen now? Like, and he's like, I'm thinking they're gonna try to kill me.
I was just thinking, run.
Yeah.
Unbuckle the fucking go ahead and run.
Yeah, what? Right. And so I'm like nervous. And he's like, listen, man, we're gonna take all, like, and when they were searching the car, they were all talking, and then all of a sudden they started like being on the phone, like away from the car, you know? That's what had me like worried, like what's going on. And so like, listen, we're gonna take the right, and we're going to let you go. We can put all your stuff exactly the way you had it before, or you could just take your car and go. I was like, no, I'm straight. I'll just take my car. I was like, what's going on? He's like, bro, you seem like you're a smart guy. Like, why don't you just try to do a regular thing, like get a job? And I'm like, bro, does it look like I want to do? He's like, you do construction work. I was like, does it look like I do construction work, bro? Like, and he was like, well, then sell your car, get some money, come back and we could do this all over again. And when he told me that, it like clicked. It's like, man, I have to be right 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And I have limited resources. These guys have unlimited resources and only have to be right once for me to go down. And I felt like I almost lost my life again, like, part of my life, maybe for whatever. Even though it's like weed, even though it's there, like I literally thought by the time I get out, my grandmother's gonna be dead because she's the one that raised me. I'm not gonna be able to see my kids. I had already gone through that. All these things were going through my mind. And I was like, man, what am I gonna do? And so I ain't have time. I was like, listen, man, y'all never gonna see me again. Like, even when I got into the car, I still thought they might have had like planted something in there. So I kind of like got in, I drove off, and then I went up the mountain in Arizona, and I was thinking to myself, oh shit, like I need to pull over and check this car to make sure there's nothing in here and I don't get pulled over. I was trying to get off the interstate as fast. And then my phone rang, and it was the girl that I was on. And I was like, actually, my phone didn't ring. I grabbed the phone. I saw it, and I called the number back. I called her phone number back, and she was like, hello? And I was like, I made it. They let me go. And she was like, I knew it. And I look at my phone like, how the hell did you know it? Like, how did you know it? Like, what do you know? I was like one step away from the pen just now. And she was like, I heard them talking about you the whole time. And I looked through the call log, and it was an hour and 35 minutes that the phone was actually on. And she was like, I heard them from the point that they came up to you and they asked you for your license to when they put you in cuffs, to the point where they were like, yeah, I just knew that guy he was no painter. Like, they even said that they were about to be off, and that the only reason they pulled me over is because I looked like a drug dealer. And she heard all that stuff. And so when mind you, they went into the trunk first, so they didn't find the phone till last.
Right.
And when they finally did find the phone, she said, I heard everything that was on there for like an hour. And then when they finally found it, I heard a hang up. And so I called back, and they were like, oh, hello? Like she was like, hello? And nobody would sound on the other end. Right. And she could just hear breathing. She was like, if you don't let him go, I'm gonna call CNN. I got this whole thing recorded. Like, da, 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 da. They hung up again. And that's what let them.
You think you think that
it had to be. Maybe they didn't want to do the paperwork.
Pulled him over because he looked like a drug dealer.
Yeah,
like that doesn't.
The Spanish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She was saying they were saying all types of shit that they were gonna go out for burgers and a beer. They weren't even gonna be.
Yeah, they're about to get off work. It's only 25 pounds of marijuana.
That's what I felt like. Like if it was dope, they probably. There were so many things going through my head that I didn't know if they were really Border Patrol, because I never even saw a badge or anything. Like, I was like, did I just get robbed? Like, did these dudes try to kill me? But it was enough, because Tampa, Florida is about 30 hours from where I was. I had all that time. I put every dollar into those weeds. I even borrowed money from my friend, because I was going to start that grow house. And when I got there, I took some of his money and sold it, because I was going to make this quick flip. I had to go back to Tampa. I had $300 in my bank account, because I put all the money back into that. I owed child support that month. I pulled out the money, right? And I had to call my son's mom and be like, hey, look, I can't send anything. I just got basically arrested almost went to jail. Like, I got to get on my feet. I was supposed to move to Cali. I had no money. I had to come back to Tampa with nothing. I didn't have a place to stay. It was like I was back like homeless, basically. I had to use that $300 for gas to get back to Tampa. I had to go to my friend's house, like literally the one that I borrowed money from, knock on his door and tell him that I lost his money, but that I wasn't running. I need a place to stay. Like, can I stay here as well? It was just like a humbling moment. And on the way there, like I'm literally telling myself, when you're driving through like Texas and all, like this land, like it kind of reminds you of prison, actually, like the way that the prisons are set up. Like I remember walking around the yard and obviously there were gates and the gun tower, but we would walk around the track, and I would look at that country and be like, man, I can't wait to get out of here. And now I almost went back to that, and I'm thinking about how that looked and how it would have looked if I would have went back to prison. And I'm crying, like I'm just looking up to the sky and asking God, like, yo, man, like, what's my purpose? Like, why am I here? Because I was a good basketball player, I was a good musician, you know what I'm saying? I was a good artist, but I was a great hustler. Like, that was like at the time like the best thing. And I was just like, so what is my purpose? Like, what if I can't hustle, like what am I supposed to do? And I really didn't know, man. And so, but I knew that I beat them, but I didn't beat them. I still lost. So so I needed to find something different, because there was no way I was ever gonna win. And I went back to my boy's crib, and he let me stay there, and I ended up getting a job, man. Like, the only place that would hire me was phone sales. And so it would have been Wawa for me, dog. Like, it would have been at that point. I just told myself that I would rather be poor, sleeping under the bridge, but free, than rich in prison. Right. And so that's been the motto ever since, man. I had a friend, man, that they actually, when I applied for the job, I walked in there, and it turned out that the supervisor was a dude that I smoked a joint with like 3 months earlier when I was in the street. And he recognized me, and I could barely recognize him because he was in a suit and tie. And, I had to ask my grandmother for like a money to buy a suit for this job interview. And when I walk in, it's this dude, man. I smoked a joint. So he interviewed me, took me to the office to interview me. He's like, yeah, you got the job. You want to smoke one later? I'm like, yo, I just felt like doors started opening up for me because I was ready for it. And now being older, like in my life, things started to, I was finally like manifesting, like, hey, I'm not gonna go to prison. Like, I'm gonna make it. This is what I'm gonna do. And so doors started opening for me to go the right path. I don't think I was ready for that. When I didn't care because I was selling dope, those doors weren't ready to be open. But now that I was like closing those doors in the streets, those doors open. So I got a good job. That dude taught me how to sell home improvement products over there. I was making okay money. It wasn't, nothing's ever the same, right? To that, the adrenaline rush of the game, of the hustle, right? So I was making okay money. I end up liking sales, right? Liking the sales, and we were selling home improvement products. So I was like, you know what? I'm always big on like distribution and trying to get the bigger fish. So they had us reaching out to contractors. I reached out to Lowe's. I reached out to Home Depot. I reached out to Lansing Building Products, and I caught a big fish. They were saying, Vince is always fishing for whales. Well, I caught a whale. Right. And but they wouldn't pay me on it. They wouldn't pay me on it. They were like, nah, they're buying in bulk. We didn't expect, the pricing isn't the same. We didn't expect, no one's ever caught that kind of client before, so we don't know what to pay you. So we're just gonna pay you. I was like, what? Man, I saw one of my friends, while I was upset, I still had to keep the job because I'm sleeping on this dude's couch. But I saw one of my friends on Facebook, and during that time, and I saw him 6 months prior when I was selling dope, and he was struggling. He was in Little 5 Points in Atlanta, and which is a neighborhood. He's a white dude who's trying to pursue his music career in Atlanta, and Atlanta is primarily black people. Right. One day they pulled a gun on him. The next day, people were walking out of his apartment with all his furniture. He comes home to his stuff looked like the Will Smith episode where they were moving, like just looked bad. And then during that time, roles kind of reversed. I seen him on Facebook. He's got a 3-piece suit, living in Midtown Manhattan, making all this money. So I called him. He was my manager he ended up being my manager at that alarm place when I first got out of prison. So I called him, and I was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, yo, I just saw you. You were doing bad. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm done. Like, with Atlanta, I moved to New York, and I got into the solar industry. I'm killing it. I'm making 6 figures, da-da-da-da. Like, yo, you want to get on? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, you got to move to New York.
He's the guy that got you on with with the alarm company.
With the alarm, he was the manager. Yeah, he was the manager.
Okay.
He And bro, he did not work like he's a good guy. Like he worked, but he really didn't have work ethic.
Right.
You know, he just kind of relied on it. And I was like, I know I work 3 times as hard as this guy. And then he was like, yo, he showed me paycheck stubs that he was doing it. And I was like, all right. So I packed up. I'm sleeping on this guy's couch anyway, right? The only stuff I got left is the stuff that I had already sold. So I took my car and I drove up to New York. My brother lives in New York, man. I ended up sleeping on his floor for like 2 or 3 weeks. I couldn't do that because we were all in a 1-bedroom, sleeping on the floor. So I slept in the office.
If you sleep hot at night, you know how disruptive that can be. When you're not resting well, everything else feels harder. Your focus, your mood, even your recovery. GhostBed is here to help you fix that. They've spent decades perfecting how to build a bed that's comfortable, durable, and designed to actually help you rest. Every GhostBed mattress features premier materials, proven cooling technology, and their exclusive ProCore layer, a targeted support system that reinforces the center of the mattress where the body is heaviest. It helps keep your spine aligned and your back supported, so you can wake up ready for anything 2026 throws at you. Each mattress comes with a 101 night sleep trial and a 20 to 25 year warranty, so you can try it risk-free, knowing it's built to last. Shipping is fast and free. Most orders arrive in 2 to 5 days. GhostBed has great prices to begin with, up to 50% off comparable brands. And Inside True Crime listeners can get an extra 10% off site-wide for a limited time. Just go to ghostbed.com/Cox and use promo code Cox at checkout. That's ghostbed.com/Cox, promo code Cox. Upgrade your sleep with GhostBed, the makers of the coolest bed in the world. Some exclusions apply. See site for details.
Man, one of the managers took me under his wing and taught me how to sell solar, man, and that changed my life. It taught me about sales. He told me, he was like, yo, you don't know much about sales as far as like outside of drug dealing, but like you're a tough dude. And that's part of the, like you said, like a lot of people quit before they can, when they have a down month. He was like, if you can stick through it, man, just follow me, man, this thing will change your life. And I started making money. First year I made $100K. The next year I made like $150. My name started ringing the bells in the industry, and I got a job offer to open up a region. They had given me my own offices up there, and then I ran the Northeast region, became the director of sales up there. And then, I helped that company make money. I helped one company make $20 million, which was crazy, a kid like me. But I helped the largest residential solar company go public. I'm actually in the picture in Salesforce. I'm in their IPO, their offering in NASDAQ.
Right.
The CEO probably couldn't pick me out of a lineup.
Right.
But she probably would. But I'm actually behind her. Lynn Jurich, it was for Sunrun. So that's awesome, man. I got to be on NASDAQ. I got to see them ring the bell. It really changed my life. And then I ended up meeting my current wife, while I was living in New York. I was traveling. I was opening up different markets and working on my music. I got a billboard, and I wanted to focus. I felt like I was real lonely. I was just working on focus. The money was finally coming. I started feeling like the man again. Like I started really like making like dope money, and I knew that, like I knew a lot of people couldn't do what I was doing. Like they wouldn't do what I was doing. We were going door to door. I was teaching people how to go door to door. I was helping people change their lives. Like I helped this kid from Ecuador and Nicaragua. Like he was selling makeup in New York, and one day he comes to me, and I'm having a bad day actually, and he's like, yo, is this for real? And I taught this kid sold 14 systems and basically brought his whole family from Ecuador. Like it was crazy, and there's been hundreds of people that I've been able to teach that. And then finally I met my wife. I wanted to be here with her. I wanted to take the next steps with her, and I basically opened up my own business and decided to come down to Florida and live with her. And, it was dope. It was great. I had a solar company for 6 years. I ended up selling it to the contractors that installed my systems, which was dope. But it was taking a lot out of me. and we wanted to work on more of my entertainment stuff. So we started a company called Raw Link Media. I have a podcast called Youngest in the Yacht Club.
What's it called?
Raw Link Media.
Okay.
And then we shoot content, and it was crazy because I was working on solar, but we'd be walking around going to dinner, and my wife Jenny, she would see people taking pictures, and like we would have to stop, and I'd be watching like this mini photo shoot happen, and she'd be doing it for free, and I'm like, she'd go out the gym and she'd be creating this content, and I do music, and she'd hold the camera for me, so I'm like, yo. People charge for this, right? And she's like, yeah, but, they wouldn't, I'm like, yo, we got to get paid for this. So we decided to take it, after I sold my company, we decided to take it seriously. Now we have a space here in Tampa, and we've got 2 podcast rooms. We've got like 6 cameras. We shoot content for businesses, schools, organizations. What made you want to do the podcast?
Well, when I was locked up, I was writing guys' stories. They're true crime stories, right? Snap. And I started writing books first. I wrote my book, and then somebody else said, hey, you ought to talk to so-and-so. He's got an amazing story. And it's like, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I wrote this guy's book, and then, people see you walking around, and he's, oh, yeah, no, he's writing my book. Oh, right. Really? Next thing you know, they're lining up.
Everybody, yeah.
And then I started realizing I optioned the rights to a guy's story, right? Like, I wrote he was like, yo, you got to write my book. You got to write my book. I was like, yeah, but you don't have much of a story. Like you do, but you got a story that I could throw a rock and hit 12 people with that story.
Right.
As he told it to me, it was a little bit more interesting because he was a white guy that they were doing, doctor shopping. And then it had kind of felt like, oh, that could be something.
Right.
And I said, well, let me see if I can get you like some press because you have no press. Like nothing isn't, the numbers aren't in press. Like you didn't, it's not $10 million. It's not, it's a bunch of young kids, but I liked that. They were clean cut young kids that were in the whole doctor shopping, and then they ended up going to getting scholarships for wrestling. They were all on the wrestling table. So they all go to different areas. They shipping it around the country. Yeah. And I thought, I could do this something if I focus on certain things, and it could be good. And I was like, let me see if I can get you some press. Maybe we could then, because otherwise I'm just, I want to do something with these. I want to get a book deal.
Right.
And I'd already had one book deal. And so anyway, I said, let me write a synopsis. I wrote a synopsis for the kid, which is like a 10, 12,000 word article about his story. And I sent it to like 6 or 8 reporters, mailed it. Because, when you got snail mail, you got what am I doing? Yeah. So I mailed it. 3 of them responded. 3 or 4 responded, and one said, but they were all like, I'm interested, but I'm in the middle of a project. I can't even look at this for 8 months, and then it'll take, okay. Then it turned into one guy said, hey, I can jump on it right now.
Yeah.
And then he wrote for Rolling Stone magazine. He got it in Rolling Stone magazine, optioned the film rights for it. And so I was a part of that option. Obviously, we all split it up.
Yeah.
So I got that, but I realized at that point, like, okay, this is valuable.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, by that point, it's 2011, 12. So I start writing guys' books, and then I write synopses for guys that I'm like,
maybe on the fence about.
Well, yeah, maybe, I realized like, hey, the synopses, like maybe fuck the books. Maybe just get these things into get articles made and option the life rights. That's a thing.
Right.
And so I ended up, that one guy that got into Rolling Stone, I got a book deal for him, so they paid me in advance. So now I'm in prison, and I'm making, and the option, of course, my part of the option was like $7,000, right?
Yeah, that's
so
not bad. Yeah,
in prison?
Yeah, for zooms and wham-whams.
Yeah, I was like, that's, so, and now I had guys just lined up.
Yeah.
Because now the synopses that I'm writing that are maybe 10, 12 pages are going around the prisons.
Yeah.
The guys are coming up to me that I don't even know, and they're like, yo, bro, you got another one? Like, you wrote one for, T-Dog, and I'm like, I'm thinking like, I don't even know you. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, I read that, bro. You got any more that like that about drugs? And I'm like, well, yeah, I actually do have one. I just finished, and I give it to him, and give it back to me, and he'd give it back to me.
Yeah, hey, so you're renting these things basically.
Yeah, I'm not renting. I'm just
but like the books,
But
like,
it's getting out there, and you start getting kind of reputation. About the same time, guys are coming to me telling me, when you get out, you need to do a podcast.
That's fine.
And I didn't even know what a podcast was.
Right.
So
the fact that they're saying that in
right.
prison. Right.
2009 is when podcasts became, the word was invented in 2009. So by 2013, 14, about that time, people start bringing me articles like, hey, here's the top 20 podcasts. 11 of them are based on true crime.
Damn.
And I'm like, okay. I've never heard one. I've never been on YouTube. I don't really know what it is. I've never been on Facebook.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. And they're like, you got to do this when you get out. I'm like, well, how does it work? What is it like? I don't know. Is it a radio show? No, kind of. And they're explaining.
Right.
So when I hit the halfway house, I kind of knew I wanted to do one, but I didn't really know how or what. This was not the version that I thought. I thought like a heavily produced with music, and I'm interviewing you, and then I'm interviewing somebody else, a part of the case, like a documentary.
Right. And
they're 10 parts, and you get a deal. But then after about 6 months of being out to a year, I realized like somebody has to invest a couple $100,000 in pulling that off.
For sure.
Nobody's going to do that. You're a guy that just got out of fucking prison. You're still on probation. Like nobody's going to do that for you.
Right.
And so at that point, I went. By that point I'd been on some podcasts. Like I've been on Patrick Bet-David.
Oh wow.
I've been on Soft White Underbelly. I've been on Danny Jones. So, and all of them were like, yeah, you need to start a podcast.
Yeah. So they're telling you, yeah.
Yeah, and of course Danny Jones is the first podcast I did. Got like over 2 million views within a few months, but it blew up right away. He's already telling me this is going viral. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah,
There's no definition.
Right.
I looked it up. There was no definition.
Right.
So it's just whatever's popular or whatever's extremely popular for the channel does well for that channel is how the definition is. But he's telling me it's going viral, and I remember he told me. So keep in mind, and then we can start. This is quick though. You'll realize just the stupidity of my thinking at the time. Like how fucking delusional I was.
Right.
I'm living in a rooming house. There's a cop living in one room. I'm living in a room. A couple of kids from the woman that owns the place. Her husband lives in a room because they're divorced or separated. She lives in a room. Like it's a rooming house.
It's a rooming house.
It's a nice rooming house. But it's still, I'm really living in the closet of the room.
Damn.
It was a big closet. No windows. So.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out. So I'm in there. I go to do Danny's podcast. This guy, Danny Jones, he's got like over 1 million subs.
Yeah.
I do his podcast. He takes me out afterwards at like 11 o'clock at night. We go to Waffle House, and he's telling me, you need to start a podcast now. People, I can't be sure, but I'm telling you this is going to blow up.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it. I don't know for sure, but it might. And people are going to, and you're an interesting guy. People are going to want to follow you and this. And you said you want to start a true crime thing. This is it. And I'm like, no, but I want the music. I want, and I want the interview. And I would like and he's like, no, I know, but that's a big budget thing, bro. You can do this with your cell phone. I go, my cell phone? And I was like,
yeah.
Disgusted.
My
cell phone.
Yeah.
I'd watched enough videos that I was like, no, I need the right equipment. I need a producer. No, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
He's like, okay, well, you do it. And he said, it'll be shit for a year. But in a year from now, when you upgrade your equipment, he said, people will be like, I remember when you were doing stuff on your iPhone in your kitchen.
Yeah, people love the glow up.
Right. And I didn't know that. I don't know that.
Right.
I'm a couple months out of
prison. Yeah.
Out of prison.
Yeah, you're trying to jump.
Right. And so he tells me all this. And this is a guy who makes his living doing what I want to do. I live in a rooming house.
In a closet.
Yeah, in a closet.
Right.
And I'm telling him, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Did you see the fucking delusion?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm not doing that. So after about 6 or 8 months, I finally say, okay, I've been out about a year, and I was like, yeah, it's not going to happen. Like I've been dicked around by so many producers and everything.
Yeah.
And I went, no, I'm just going to have to start at the bottom, and maybe it'll work. So I started the podcast, and then I met Colby 6 months later, and he jumped in, and we got the cameras, and then he's like, we'll set up like this, and we will do this. And so then it started growing.
Yeah.
And so then it eventually became this. But I look back and I think and I always say this, that Danny gave me the best advice that I completely ignored in my life. Where would we be if I had started a year prior in the middle of COVID? COVID's kind of wrapping up by the time we start. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Yeah, you would have had 1 million eyes on you for sure. I mean, you already have a lot of subs you're doing, but you would have had even more.
Of course.
It would triple that.
And I was going on big podcasts, and every time I would go on, they would get a couple million views.
Yeah.
Like now, if I go on a podcast and it's a big podcast, it might get a couple hundred.
Yeah.
The algorithm chewed me up and spit me out.
Yeah,
by that
for
point.
sure. Yeah.
So I had a ride that I was But by the time I do it, it's already coming down.
Yeah. And then, you know, more people's attention spans at that time, like right now is.
Of course, they're locked in their house. Like, what an opportunity.
Yeah.
Fucking, I just.
It's all good though, because sometimes, you know, look, what I've seen now is beautiful. And we have our own podcast setup, and when we look at it, we're like, we like to see what other people's setups look like.
Yeah.
Man, this is top tier.
Yeah,
it's top tier. It's dope. It's dope. You guys have grown. You know?
The only thing I would have done different, if the ceilings had been higher, I would have built a platform, like a 12-inch or whatever a step is, 10 inches. So this would sit on it, not because of aesthetically it would have changed anything,
right?
But that's how Patrick Bet David had it,
yeah.
And I thought it was the coolest fucking thing. Changes nothing. Yeah. You wouldn't see anything would be different,
right?
Except that you'd kind of step up here, but it was so.
It makes
cool.
It makes it like a stage.
He had listen his podcast. It was so cool.
Yeah,
you know, and it had cameras on strings that were, as you're talking, they're going by. They don't make a noise, but they're gliding by, and I'm just like, and you know, they're like, don't look at the camera. I'm thinking this is like, it was so high tech, and that. Other than that, this is perfect. Other than that one thing,
Patrick Bet David too, man. He got, he's got stupid bread.
Yeah, he could. And I went when he was in I want to say, was he in
Texas?
What was he in?
So.
Austin, maybe? I don't know. He's in Texas. They flew me out, brought me there. I walked in. He had his insurance company there, and so it was a massive room, massive.
Yeah.
I walk, and it was just people in cubicles on phones. So I walk through that, like they walk. It's in this huge, like this, but it's like he owned the whole building.
Yeah.
You walk through the whole thing. There's just and he owns everything. He owns everything.
Right.
You get all the way back to where the podcast was. I walk in there. He's 6'6".
Yeah, he's a tall dude, right?
He's on a 10-inch platform. So as soon as I walk in, like 5 feet, he stands up, and I'm like,
Xerxes from 300.
This guy's a fucking. He's got like the Hulk. He's got all these big. This is when he had those big figures like Batman and the Hulk, and he's got all these. I mean, it was just like over the top. When you walked into the not the studio, but the main area, he had a huge. Is it Optimus Prime? A huge, like probably. I don't know how big it was.
Just a
feet.
big kid,
just
huh?
Massive.
Yeah, he's a big rich kid. Like he got rich with it. You know?
But I love his story too.
Yeah,
you know,
it's dope.
Yeah, he's got one of those stories that's you know, it's
it's inspiring.
Yeah,
for sure. I feel like that too, man. Like that's what we got to get to. You know, we got to keep growing in that. You know, especially how far we've come. You know, I feel like it's important, man. You know,
I feel like most people, they just can't weather. You have a bad month or two, and they just can't weather it, and they get depressed, and they quit. It's like, you know, if you just held on a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You know, you think there's not going to be some dips?
Yeah.
Like it's
always like that.
Yeah. It's the consistency, you know, put up something, you know, even if it's like if you're putting up 3 videos or 1 video a week or 3 videos a week, then it's like, oh yeah, we don't really have a good video. Then put up dog shit.
Right.
Because the algorithm expects 3 videos. It's ingrained. Here are the days, here are the times, put it up. Even if it's, I'm going to talk to my neighbor who's got a semi-interesting guy. Well, let's talk.
Yeah.
Because something has to go up. And most people, I'll wait a week. You're going to wait a week? What?
Yeah, you tripping.
Yeah. Talk to your... you talk to your girlfriend. Where did we meet?
Where
did we?
Exactly.
Oh, we met in. You know, why'd you even date me? I could talk. You could talk for an hour. Talk to Jess for an hour. My wife.
Right.
You know, there's a story there. There's a story in probably
everything.
Yeah.
Facts. I'm with it, man.
Musicians. And you have a podcast. What is your podcast?
It's called Youngest in the Yacht Club. Okay. It's basically industry leaders in whatever industry they're in to be able to tell their story and inspire people.
Okay.
Yeah, and
so it's like for entrepreneurs
or musicians. Okay. Anyone. Sometimes we have fighters on there.
Musicians, an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's like the ultimate,
same thing,
right?
Yeah, ex-dope dealers that have changed their lives, redemption stories. I do music. My name is Vince Serrano, and we end up catching a billboard. Focusing on the entertainment, like I got a billboard. We were number 16 on the Billboard charts, number 4 on iTunes. It's crazy because I was on My True Crime Story, the show with Remy Ma.
Yeah,
I basically wrote an email to my friend. Was like, hey, my friend's doing this writing for My True Crime Story. your story would be dope. Write him an email. It hadn't come out yet. There was nothing about it. It was an idea. And so I wrote the email to the guy, and then I messaged him I DM'd him, and I was like on Instagram, and I was like, listen, read my email, and if you think I'd be a good fit, I basically sold it to him. I was like, if you think it's a good fit, let me know and we'll get more. And he was like, yo, that's a dope email. Let's talk Monday. And I'm telling him the story that I told you, and he was like, yo, this is sick. We need to condense it into 45 minutes, bro, because it's a whole movie. Yeah. So I was on season 1, episode 3. During COVID, they wanted to change like how true crimes was. They wanted to make it more of like a redemption because everything was so negative with true crimes.
Right.
So that's why they came out with it to kind of attract, change the mindset of people. I didn't know Remy Ma was going to be on it. They end up licensing 2 of my records on there, so I got paid for licensing on there. I got number 16 and number 4 on iTunes the day of recording, so I was able to show them like my excitement that day. It was crazy. They recorded that stuff, and everything's come. They just recently played it on Christmas, my episode again. They got green-lighted again for the rest of the seasons because of the. I'm not gonna say it's because of my episode, but they said that one of my episode was one of the most streamed on the series. So I talked to the music supervisor. I also talked to some of the people who wrote it, especially the friend of mine the friend of mine who wrote for them. We keep talking. His name was Danny Peralta. I want to thank you for getting me on that show, man, because he was like, yo, man, it's like you're like Kobe but like Tony at the same time. And I was afraid that they might like sensationalize it a lot. And I didn't want to glorify the whole street thing a lot because I didn't come from that, right? Like the beginning of the story is like, I kind of just felt like I did all those things and I wanted to, I just took the easy way out. And I realized now that wasn't it. So yeah, man, that's my story, dog.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos just like this. Also, if you want to check out Vince's music or follow him on any of his social platforms, we're going to leave all of the descriptions in the description box. You can go there. You can check out him on iTunes, on Spotify, on, what's the other one?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. And you can just click there, go there, follow him. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much. See ya.